webcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome, friends, once again on our special webinar on statutory bank branch audit on our today's auspicious day. So special wishes and best wishes for this Holi. And we have a multiple season going on. One side we have a IPL season started, but we all as a chartered accountant hungry for knowledge. So we have for us a bank audit season, and as chief guest, we have Amarjit Chopra sir, a seasonal professional, always ready to share knowledge with the professional, has accepted our invitation for addressing today's session. So thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and ready for the address on today's session on bank branch audit, which is, we can say, a core area for your practice and your address also. Obviously, you are as an past president of ICAI can speak on any topic and with the depth of knowledge on all the topics. But whenever we heard a bank audit, the one name came in entire India is Amarjit Chopra sir. So it's a great privilege for us, sir. You are here today, and also Sir Ketan Saiya sir, our today's speaker. He's taking a session on multiple cities. We can say I think more than 10 plus cities sir has already covered, or even more. So we can also hear today. I would like to say, sir, today also we have more than 50 cities participants are taking part in this session, and we have Sweta Jain ma'am, a regional council member of WRC of ICAI. We also recognize her presence. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and accepting our invitation. Let me invite first our seasonal professional chief guest, a keynote speaker for today's session, none other than CA Dr. Amarjit Chopra sir. Sir does not require any introduction, but as a part of formalities, we would like to introduce sir as almost 50 plus year of experience, almost 50 plus. Sir has qualified in 1975 and has held various esteemed positions, including chairmanship of NIRC and president of ICAI. Service served the 5 terms consequently at the ICAI and chaired significant committees such as NACAS, which is a accounting standard at that time, and also nominated to boards of nationalized bank companies and leading audit committees. Additionally, sir has contributed globally as a faculty, conducted more than around 3,000 professional programs across numerous countries and receiving honorary membership from international accounting bodies as well. Presently, sir is serving multiple boards and having faculty for esteemed institutions like IMF as well. So with this word, we are welcoming you once again, sir, and would like to request to address all the attendees. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Virag, for a very generous introduction, probably more out of your love and affection. And of course, Shweta and Ketanji, whom I can see on the screen, and all other participants. I think you said 50 cities who are participating in this particular program. See, the branch audit, statutory branch audit, it is a topic very dear to one's heart. And I think comes the month of March and April, and everyone is eager. In March, everyone is eager to find out whether I'm lucky to receive the appointment letter or not. And all those who are lucky, particularly who have been lucky this year, who knows, it may be the last 4 years for the branch audit, or who may receive next year, maybe the last 4 years for the branch audit. But one thing is certain, that the scope of the branch audit, so far as the allotment process is concerned, I think it is going to shrink further in the years to come, and one should acknowledge that particular fact, what is going to happen. This I say so out of my experience, of my courage of conviction. This is something which I have been saying for almost 15 years, 20 years now, that branch audit would not remain what the branch audit had been or has been. The reason being, there are two reasons for this. Number one, the regulator feels that probably the kind of quality which was required from the profession, it has not come in the branch audit. We may or may not agree to that. But at times the regulator has called for the information, number of MOCs, the amount of MOCs by the branch auditors, and somewhere it is not out of place to say that profession has been let down somewhere or the other. And secondly, which is more important, and I think which is more plausible reason for the branch audit not to stay as it is. Every bank has made a huge investment into the IT systems. And when the banks have made huge investments into the IT systems, naturally they would like to take advantage of those systems. As the luck would have it, or as the system may have it, our own colleagues who are the auditors in the private sector banks like ICAI, Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, IDFC First City Bank, etc., have been auditing all these banks in a centralized manner. There has been no branch audit so far as these banks are concerned. Now, one of the arguments, and when the need for the branch audit has not been felt there, one of the arguments that the regulators have been raising is that then why the branch audit should be required in the public sector banks. The nature of the operations is the same. The money is the same. Let's be very clear about it. Except for the fact that the share capital has been invested there by the government and here by the private sector people. But so far as the public deposits are concerned, or the borrowings are concerned, these come from virtually the same sources. And when these come from the same sources, public interest is equally involved into the private sector banks as well as the public sector banks. Now, if the private sector banks have been happy, rather the profession has been happy, the auditors of the all auditors of the private sector banks have not felt the need for the branch audits. Why should it be that the branch audit should take place only in the case of the public sector banks? The reason is one only today, that all the records in the case of the private sector banks, particularly the loans and advances records and the deposit records, have been digitized in the private sector banks. So probably looking at those documents is feasible at the central level by the central statutory auditors. Whereas in the case of the public sector banks, the loan and advances records, the operation of the account, you can see sitting over anywhere. That's not an issue. But so far as the primary documents are concerned with regard to loan and advances or with regard to the deposits, that you can't see sitting over at the centralized level. Now, the moment, I can tell you, the moment these records would be digitized, the branch audit would not stay. Let's be very clear about it so far as the public sector banks are concerned. RBI is after the banking sector that you must digitize all the records. All aspects should be on IT systems. It should be all automated processes rather than the manual intervention. I think Ketan ji will take you through to some of the circulars of the Reserve Bank of India, which very clearly lay down today that not even a single account in the banking system should be classified as NPA with a manual intervention. All accounts should be classified as NPA only through the automated system. It should arise out of the system. And that is one reason why the Reserve Bank of India in 21 came up with the circulars, which clearly said and which made it obligatory for the branch auditors. When you go to the branch audits, in that particular case, you have to ensure one thing, that at branch level, all special mentioned accounts, SMA 0, SMA 1, SMA 2 have to be updated on a daily basis, not even on a weekly basis, not on a fortnight basis, not on a monthly basis. These have to be updated on a daily basis, irrespective of the time involved therein. Why? because the RBI wants that the overdue status in a particular account or the regular status in a particular account should be classified by the system on the same day itself. Because there is another circular which came from the Reserve Bank of India, and that said that earlier what used to happen, some bank could decide that I will classify an account as NPA at the end of the month or at the end of the 15th day. Now the Reserve Bank of India said that no, this is all humbug. You can't do it, that you will do it on 30th or 31st of the month or 15th of the month or 10th of the month. They said the moment, as per the prudential norms, the over period is completed by a period of 90 days, the system must classify that particular account as NPA under all circumstances. And this is possible when? This is possible only and only when you update the status of the SMA accounts on a daily basis. SMA status of the account on a daily basis. If even there is 1 day overdue, you have to classify it as SMA 1. There is absolutely no doubt so far as that part is concerned. Now, the moment you do that, you will start knowing when the 90 days period is completed. And if you don't update that, you will not come to know that. And so system has to take care of it. System has to take care. And that is why you have to feed even into the system when a particular account is due for renewal. The moment 180 days period is overdue for the renewal purposes, the account should be classified as NPA by the system itself. Now, the problem is, it is not happening in some of the cases. And that is where probably the branch auditors have to step in. And the branch auditors have to say that this particular bank has not automated its system with regard to the classification of the NPS. And the moment you do it, believe me, the RBI is coming down very heavily. Last year also they have imposed huge penalties on some of the banks for non-automation of the classification of the advances. One argument which every branch auditor has been taking all these years, fortunately, unfortunately, and I will draw attention of Ketanji and Shwetaji because you are the leaders of the profession, basically future leaders, that the branch does not give them adequate time to audit, or the bank does not allow them the adequate time to audit. You tell me which private client gives you the adequate time to audit? Nobody wants to be audited. Let's be very clear. Given the choice to a client for the purpose of tax audit, he will come on 30th September at 5:30 p.m. only. And still probably his tax audit would be completed. So let's stop blaming the branches or branch managers for all this what is happening. Because the branch manager has been told that you handle the auditor. I'm using the word handle the auditors, manage the auditors somewhere or the other. No, you manage the auditors. So why he has been told that after all, no one wants to be audited. Even if a peer reviewer comes to your office, what do you want? You also want this in a similar fashion, that he should go as soon as possible. It is a human psychology. Who wants to be audited? Nobody wants to be audited. Even if your spouse asks you a question, how much income did you spend? You feel as if I am being audited. You say, why should I tell you? That's very natural. In a lighter vein, that's one can say. So believe me, forget about it, what the manager wants or what the bank wants. I am the auditor. It's for me to take the time. It's for me to ensure that I am able to complete an audit effectively and qualitatively. And I take my time. If it is a smaller branch, take 3 to 5 days time. If it is a medium-sized branch, take 7 days to 9 days time or 10 days time. If it's a bigger branch, take 12 days time. And believe me, if you know banking, there is no branch which cannot be audited in time. That much I can assure you. But for that, I have to know what the banking is. I must tell my staff when the staff is going out, my article is going out, what is the meaning of pledge, what is the meaning of hypothecation, what is the meaning of term loan, what is the meaning of cash credit, what is the meaning of LC, what is the meaning of BD, what is usance, what is site. Unfortunately, I don't sit with them, I don't tell them. It is my duty to sit and tell them what is the meaning. Otherwise, a student who has just come in and you send him for a branch audit without telling him, He comes across an account which is a cash credit account. He says cash also, credit also. Oh, what kind of an account is this here? I have to apprise my students. I have to tell my students. I have to tell my staff what the terminology in the banking means. If a student goes out to the banker and says that I need trial balance, he may be well-meaning, but in banking there is nothing like trial balance. There is something else. The same word is somewhere else. It could be GLP. So I think what is important is that if you want to be respected as an auditor, branch auditor, you first have to know what the banking is. And I have never found myself short of time. I've never given my reports before 25th or 26th. Nobody has removed me ever. Let me be very clear about it. The point is, the moment you go, you put certain requirements into writing. That what do you want? But before that, the most important aspect is, there is a standard of auditing, SA 315, which says know your customer, know your auditee. You must know what is the business processes of an auditee. Why? The similar thing applies to a bank branch. The moment you are going to audit, find out whether it is advance-oriented branch, deposit-oriented branch. If the advance-oriented branch is there, the entire nature of your audit will be different from the nature of the audit that you conduct in the case of a deposit-oriented branch. Whether in a branch it's more of a fund-based business or a non-fund-based business. The entire aspect, the entire emphasis of your audit would undergo a change in that particular case. If it is a fund-based branch, the emphasis is different. If it's a non-fund-based branch, the emphasis is different. The point is, I must understand, if a branch has more of agricultural loans, can I apply the same principles which I applied for checking the industry? No. I think here the conditions are altogether different. Here the SLBC is the most important authority which has to determine which is a long-term crop or which is a short-term crop. And the thumb rule today in the case of the agricultural advances is that if something is overdue for a period of more than 3 years, in any case, from the date of its becoming, the moment you have advanced it, and if it does not come back to you within a period of 3 years, it should be classified as NPA. What is happening in the case of agricultural advances, we all know. On the last date in the case of Kisan credit cards, there are 2 entries, cash received, cash paid, within a difference of 3 to 4 seconds, if you look at the system. Now, in such cases, I think I am the auditor. I will ask, where is the scroll register? And in the scroll register, if no entries are found of this cash received and cash paid, or if even the entries are found but the denomination is not found, these are all fraudulent entries. It means no cash came, no cash went out, so far as that part is concerned. Classify those accounts as NPA. Nobody stops you to do that. And the other thing that I would like to say is that you have given a letter, you have given the letter for requirements, the manager is not meeting out those requirements. Give a reminder for it. If he still does not give it, come back to your office, issue a disclaimed report. Why should you keep on sitting in the branch? If certain information has not been made available to you, come back and qualify your report. Give a disclaimed report, if at all, if it is the need of the hour. But don't keep on saying the manager did not give me the information, so I did not release the report. You have the right. If some client does not provide you the information, what will you do? You will disclaim your liability for those aspects, basically. So what I am trying to say is that please try to make sure that you don't waste your time in the branch. The branch manager will keep on telling you, sir, lunch का time हो गया, lunch में बाहर चलते हैं sir कहीं पे. This is one of the art to manage the auditor ना. बाहर चलते हैं सर. ये तो आपको बोलना है कि सर बाहर नहीं जाना, मुझको बाहर जाऊंगा तो 3 घंटे लगेंगे ना बाहर जाने में, अगर वो लेके जाएगा तो. मुझे यहीं पे डोसा खिला दे, इडली खिला दे, वड़ा खिला दे, जो मर्जी खिला दे. और महाराष्ट्र में तो पाव भाजी खिला दे भाई, कुछ भी खिला दे. But I will not like to go out. Why should I go out and waste 3 hours or 2 hours? Let me complete my job first, and then I will like to go out, if at all I have to go out. On the last day, having completed the assignment, tell him, Now you take us for lunch. He will say, "आप क्या करना है sir lunch पे? हो गया lunch तो आपका." So what is important is these are all the tricks of the trade. The manager plays it. We have seen when the manager would tell you, "Sir, there is a temple, sir, about 40 kilometers away, sir, from here." और जो मन्नत आप मांगो ना सर पूरी हो जाती है यार सर वहां जाने में. Now a fellow like me at the age of 70, 72 will tell him, "Wait, I have nothing to wish for now." But the article who has gone with me and is in the final, he or she says, "Sir, आप अपना मत सोचो, हमारा सोचो, हमने एग्जाम देना." And when you go next day to that temple, you find it was not 40 kilometers, it was 100 kilometers. And you have spent the full day in coming and going. And then he says, अब तो आपकी सारी विशेष ही पूरी होगी, अब तो आप चलो, अब क्या? These are all the tricks of the trade. Let's be very clear about it. Don't be worried about these tricks. It is for me to take the time. It is for me to extract the time out of the available time, basically, for the purpose of audit. And one thing that I will like to say is that banking audit is the easiest. इससे easy audit नहीं है. Provided I know, again I say, repeat in inverted commas, I know what the banking is. Every branch has got a system of returns which are sent from the branch to the regional office to zonal office to head office. There is no aspect in the banking on which there is no return. If there is a fraud in the branch, there is a return. If there is a cash token lost, there is a return. If there is an LC development, there is a return. If there is a bank guarantee invocation, there is a return. If there is a non-renewed account, there is a return. If there are inoperative accounts, there is a return. If there are irregular advances, there is a return. So why should I go to the ledger straight away? Ledger should be gone into after having gone through the returns. If at all I feel the need to get into the ledger. That's the important aspect. I'll just give you one example. There is a return for irregular advances. Now, just think over that if an account is not irregular on 31st December, if there is no amount overdue, as on 31st December, the account is running very well, will the 90 days period be completed up to 31st March? If a post 1st of January 90 days period to be completed will be difficult. So what you have to focus on is the accounts which were actually irregular on 31st of December. And there's a return for it. Pick up that return. Now, if out of those 20 irregular advances, 6 have already been classified as NPA by the branch. So what you have to see in that? You will be seeing only whether the interest reversal which is due as per the prudential norms has taken place or not, what was the security, what is the exact date of the account becoming NPA, etc., etc. But the important part is the accounts which were irregular but have become regularized before 31st March. How these accounts became regularized? How these accounts were regularized by the branches? Now, one of the arts could be that suppose a CC limit was overdrawn. CC limit was overdrawn. There was no DP available. And this had already happened for 10 days. Now, in the debtors, you had fixed a margin of 50%. Now, the branch manager near the date of the balance sheet says, "Sir, we have allowed him the 25%. हो गया regular account. ऐसे ही वो stocks के against कर सकता. For the purpose of DP, instead of 25%, it is 20% or it is 15%. If it does it, your MOC is ready on that day. The account has to be classified as NPA. He can't do it that there is a cash credit account which is overdrawn, or there is a term loan which is overdrawn. There was no bill facility which was granted to the party, and suddenly he gives him a bill facility, discounts a particular bill and credits the proceeds to the CC account or to the term loan account. Can't do it. There's no way that he can do it, because the account irregularity has to be cleared out of the genuine proceeds, out of the genuine sources of the party. It cannot be done with the additional funds of the bank. This is as per the prudential norms. I'm not talking something on my own. I'm talking what has been written in the prudential norms for that matter. Now, a term loan is overdue. The account in the cash credit is running fine. But what he does near the balance sheet date, he debits the cash credit account, overdraws the cash credit account, and credits it to the term loan account. Cannot do it. He cannot overdraw it and then do it. He can't regularize that. If he has done it, your MOC should be ready on that particular day. But yes, if there is a term loan irregularity, cash credit is running within the pass, within the DP limit, within the sanction limit, and suppose out of 1 crore he has only availed 90 lakhs and the drawing power is up to 1 crore, he can still manage to debit 10 lakh rupees and credit it to the term loan account. You can have no objection in that. But suppose he had only DP of 90 lakhs, then he cannot debit another 10 lakh rupees and say, sir, ye to siraf abhi overdraw hua for a period of 10 days. No, he can't do it. If it does it, the account will have to be classified as a non-performing account. So what is important for you is to make sure that the accounts which were irregular on 31st December but have been regularized prior to 31st of March, find out the sources of such regularization. If the sources are of the party itself, forget about it. Suppose I am auditing PNB and the check has come from Canara Bank, fine. I'm not Sherlock Holmes to act and find out from where those funds have come in the Canara Bank. No, I will accept that. But yes, if the funds have been routed from this very branch itself, X account was irregular, Y's account was regular, I have debited Y's account, credited the account of X and regularized this account. I must find out whether these two parties have been dealing with throughout the year, or it is only at the end of the year that an amount has been debited to this particular party's account and credited to this particular party's account. Because what is going to happen in that case is, if it is only one-off transaction, post 31st of March, there will be debit to this X account again and credit to the Y's account again. You can be sure about it. The most difficult account to be handled in branch audit is the cash credit account. That much I can tell you. All other accounts are simple, but cash credit account is the toughest of the lot to be dealt with. You see, there are two parameters before I go to the cash credit account and then go away. There are two parameters which are non-financial parameters based upon which the account can be classified as NPA. One is when an account is not renewed for a period of 180 days. Irrespective of the performance of the account, उसमें operation कितना भी बढ़िया हो, still the account will be classified as a non-performing account. उसमें interest recovery, principal recovery पे कोई ध्यान नहीं है. But अगर आपका renewal नहीं हुआ account का for a period where the renewal was due, in that case the account has to be classified as NPA. Within these period of 180 days, he can short review, he can review, do whatever. But from the account becoming due date, account becoming due for renewal, up to 180 days, he can have as many reviews or short reviews or whatever he wants to do. But on 180 days, on 180th day, if the account is not properly renewed, the account has to be classified as NPA. Let's be clear. The RBI does not allow 181st day. And the second is, if a DP has been allowed, a drawing power has been allowed against a stock statement which is more than 180 days old, then also irrespective of the performance of the account has to be classified as NPA. Now what happens is, unfortunately, Ketan ji will explain probably later, I have inconsistencies between the long form audit report and the main report. Long form audit report में there is a very specific question, and that specific question is that in how many accounts the renewal is overdue for a period of 180 days or 1 year. There I write 2 accounts. If I have written 2 accounts there, then there are 2 accounts which have to be classified as NPA. उसका MOC नहीं. Or when I write about the monitoring of the accounts, cash credit accounts, I write stock statements have not been received for a very long period of time in many cases. तो लॉन्ग टर्म क्या है हमारे लिए? 3 महीने तो होगा नहीं, 6 महीने भी नहीं होगा. हमें तो शेयर कैपिटल गेन में भी जो बताया जाता है वो 1 साल बताया जाता है, प्रॉपर्टी कैपिटल गेन में 3 साल बताया जाता है. तो लॉन्ग टर्म क्या है? 1 साल से कम तो नहीं हो सकता ना. इन एनी केस 1 साल से कम तो नहीं होता. हम तो वर्किंग कैपिटल की भी जब बात करते हैं तो अप टू 1 ईयर आपका ऑपरेटिंग साइकिल की जब बात करते हैं, और बियॉन्ड 12 मंथ्स. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है देखना कि करंट एसेट क्या है. करंट एसेट मेरा क्या 12 महीने वाला, तो 12 महीने के बियॉन्ड क्या हो जाता है? लॉन्ग टर्म हो जाता है. मैंने तो यही पढ़ा अकाउंटिंग में. तो अगर मैंने ये लिखा फॉर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम द स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट्स हैव नॉट बीन रिसीव्ड, तो उनको जरा चेक कर लो यार. ये नहीं मैं लिख सकता ना. अगर लॉन्ग पीरियड लिखा है तो फिर ये भी देखना पड़ेगा कि कब से नहीं आई, और अगर 6 महीने से नहीं आई और डीपी में उसी के अगेंस्ट अलाउ किया जा रहा हूं, तो अकाउंट को एनपीए मुझे करना ही पड़ेगा, कितना भी बढ़िया ऑपरेशन क्यों नहीं हो. और कैश क्रेडिट में एक दिक्कत और है, वो ये कहता है कि अगर क्वार्टर में या तो सफिशिएंट या तो बिल्कुल ही क्रेडिट्स नहीं है, या सफिशिएंट क्रेडिट्स नहीं है टू मीट द इंटरेस्ट डेबिटेड ड्यूरिंग द क्वार्टर, देन द अकाउंट विल बिकम एनपीए. अब बैंक मैनेजर तो स्मार्ट है, पार्टी को बोला चेक दे दे, वो कहता फंड नहीं है, कहता चेक तो दे दे. चेक जमा करवा लिया, प्रोविजनल क्रेडिट अलाउ कर दिया, अगले दिन उसको डेबिट कर दिया. वो समेशन जब आती है तो वो क्रेडिट की समेशन में आ जाता. तो जरा इसको निकालिएगा कि ऐसा कोई चेक नहीं होना चाहिए जो पहले दिन तो क्रेडिट हुआ और अगले दिन डेबिट हो गया. सेम फॉर दी शॉर्टेज ऑफ फंड्स. आई एम ओनली ट्राइंग टू डू दैट, क्योंकि जब कभी भी वो होगा तो 5-10 रुपए के चार्जेस, 20 रुपए के चार्जेस भी लगेंगे साथ के साथ फॉर द डिसऑनर ऑफ द चेक, for that matter, that you will be able to find out easily. So what one is trying to tell you is be very sure. And cash credit में सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत क्या है? It's a working capital account. Working capital का मतलब ये है कि आपने उसको पैसा दिया है for purchase of material. सेल मेरे को क्रेडिट होनी चाहिए, परचेजेस जो है मेरे को डेबिट होनी चाहिए मेरे अकाउंट में. For wage payment, for all other expenses, my cash credit account is to be used. अब आपको ऐसे ऐसे कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट्स मिलेंगे, यू कैन बी श्योर अबाउट इट, इन द बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री, जिसमें साल में 8 एंट्रीज आती हैं सिर्फ. हर क्वार्टर के एंड पे इंटरेस्ट डेबिटेड, इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड. अगर यही 8 एंट्रीज हैं किसी कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट में, तो उसको एनपीए करके आइएगा, क्योंकि वो पैसा डाइवर्ट हो चुका पहले किसी ना किसी एसेट एक्विजिशन में. क्योंकि माई अकाउंट इज नॉट फॉर any asset acquisition. My account is meant for day-to-day affairs of the party. और दूसरा आपको ऐसे केसेस बहुत मिलेंगे. If you pick up the balance sheet and P&L account of the party, you find that the turnover of the party is 10 crores. मेरे पास क्रेडिट कितने आए हैं मेरे अकाउंट में? 1 करोड़ के कैश क्रेडिट में. तो भाई बाकी पैसा कहाँ गया? वो कहता है कि 3 महीने के तो क्रेडिट डेटर्स थे. 3 महीने के डेटर्स थे तो भी अगर 1 करोड़ की 10 करोड़ की टर्नओवर है तो 7.5 करोड़ रुपया आना चाहिए. और पिछले साल वाला भी आके तो 10 करोड़ भी हो सकता है, 9 करोड़ भी हो सकता है. और अगर 1 करोड़ की टर्नओवर है तो 75 लाख रुपया आना चाहिए, अगर 3 महीने के आपने डेटर्स दे भी रखे हैं तो ये नहीं चल सकता. ऐसे अकाउंट्स में जहां पे टर्नओवर मेरी कम हो, उसमें 2 चीजें आपको करनी पड़ेंगी. एक तो जहां पे मेरी और बैलेंस शीट जो P&L की टर्नओवर है वो 1 करोड़ है या 10 करोड़ है सपोज कीजिए, परंतु क्रेडिट्स मेरे पास 1 करोड़ के आए हैं इन दी कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट. कंपेयर हिज टर्नओवर विद द जीएसटी रिटर्न्स. हमने कई केसेस में, जब मैं डिसिप्लिन में था, लोगों को गिल्टी इसीलिए किया कि आपने जीएसटी रिटर्न से तो कभी कंपेयर ही नहीं किया उसकी सेल को, उस वक्त वैट होती थी, यू नेवर कंपेयर्ड इट विद द वैट रिटर्न्स. वैट रिटर्न्स और जीएसटी रिटर्न्स आर टेस्टिमनी टू व्हाट द एक्चुअल टर्नओवर इज. टर्नओवर बिल्ड नहीं करनी है ना मुझे. If he is building a turnover only for the purpose of the bank, then it is all humbug, it is all false, it is all forged. So my request to you is, please try to compare the turnover with the GST returns in those cases. और अगर आपको ये लगे कि भी GST returns are giving different figures compared to the audited figures, do whatever you want to do in such cases. और दूसरा ये that you will not be getting the audited balance sheet for the current year. आपने 24 का ऑडिट करना, 24 की तो ऑडिटेड बैलेंस शीट मिलेगी नहीं. पिछले साल की बैलेंस शीट है उसके पास. कोई भी अकाउंट जो लार्ज एडवांस है, खास तौर पे लार्ज एडवांस का मतलब है 10% ऑफ द टोटल पोर्टफोलियो ऑफ द बैंक ऑफ द ब्रांच, फंड बेस्ड प्लस नॉन फंड बेस्ड, और ₹10 crore, whichever is less. In all these cases, you can be rest assured, अगर आपने उसकी फाइल नहीं पढ़ी, सैंक्शन फाइल प्लस उसकी रेगुलर फाइल नहीं पढ़ी, यू कांट कंडक्ट द ऑडिट. कैश क्रेडिट में तो आप नहीं कर सकते. सो माय हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू यू इज, wherever there is a large cash credit account or there is a large borrower as per the definition of the Reserve Bank of India, please look into the sanction and look into the file of the party, because that party file will tell you, the manager himself is writing to the party that your stock statements are not coming, your debtors are not being realized, our inspector went to inspect your stocks, he has not been allowed to inspect. Then what does it mean? And more importantly, the sanction file, because sanction file will tell you what is the level of the stocks that the client is supposed to maintain. You have funded the stocks for a period of, say, finished goods for 15 days, raw materials for 30 days, work in progress for 10 days. But suppose this work in progress is becoming 3 months, will you fund it? You will not fund it. You can't have a drawing power against that work in progress. You have said that you will maintain a level of creditors up to 1 month. Suppose the level of creditor goes up to 3 months. What does it indicate? That you have not paid the creditors also. Then how is it paid stock? Whatever is beyond the sanction limit, whatever is beyond the, not the sanction limit, whatever is beyond the sanction levels, that you have to ignore. Now, the point is, I have to exercise that due diligence by reading the file, sanction, as well as the regular file of the party. I say I don't have the time. Manager is very happy that you don't have the time because you are in a hurry to go back. Don't hurry to go back. Make long form audit report as your audit program. I can only tell you that. Today, if you look at the long form audit report, that is the best way to prepare your audit program so far as the branch audit is concerned. My humble submission is, compare the audited balance sheet of the last year with the figures given in the stock returns of the last year. You will find in 90% of the cases, audited balance sheet figures are much lesser so far as stocks and debtors are concerned, and so far as creditors are concerned, these will be 3 times of the value which has been shown in the returns. ये सब अकाउंट्स एनपीए हैं, इनको एनपीए करके आइएगा और इस साल से नहीं करिएगा, लास्ट जब उसमें वो इरेगुलरिटी हुई है उस साल से उसको अकाउंट को एनपीए करके आइएगा. I think Virag, I can go on, but I think since there are other speakers, I just wanted to give you some flavor as to what a banker does, particularly in the cash credit accounts. Cash credit account is a very, very ticklish area. Let's be very clear about it. And that I cannot audit without reading the files. I will only give you one example. We were doing one of the branches in Delhi of one of the banks. The party had an exposure of almost 1600 crore rupees so far as the banking industry is concerned. And what we came across in the P&L account and balance sheet was that the work in progress was to the extent of the 10-month sale value. And that was the starting point. And what we came to know was average sale value of the product was 1300 rupees per kg. Work in progress had been valued at 2400 rupees per kg, which meant that the bank was funding its losses. अगर आपका वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस 2400 रुपए है तो अल्टीमेट कॉस्ट कितनी आएगी? 2500 आएगी और आप बेच रहे हो 1300 रुपए पे. तो आंसर वाज कि नहीं तो डीपी कैसे बनेगी सर? अगर 2600 रुपए पे अगर 2400 रुपए पे वैल्यू नहीं करेंगे तो फिर डीपी नहीं बनेगी. मुझे डीपी नहीं बनवानी है. आई एम नॉट रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट डीपी. और जहां जहां पे जिस कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट में स्टॉक ऑडिट का ऑर्डर हुआ एंड ए पीरियड ऑफ 6 months और 1 year has elapsed और स्टॉक ऑडिट रिपोर्ट नहीं आ रही है, उसको जरा अच्छी तरह से देख लीजिएगा, क्योंकि यहाँ तो स्टॉक ऑडिट रिपोर्ट आई नहीं है, आई है तो दिखाई नहीं है, क्योंकि उसमें कुछ और गफलत है. मेरी आपसे एक ही रिक्वेस्ट है, जब आप ऑडिट करने जाएं तो आप भी साइकोलॉजी पे खेलेंगे. ऑडिटर तो वही है जो साइकोलॉजी पे खेलेगा. आज आप भी जो स्टाफ मेंबर से आप जो इंफॉर्मेशन निकलवा सको वही बेस्ट है. मैं क्योंकि उस पे हूँ, यूट्यूब पे भी हूँ इस वक्त. I may not like to say certain things, but I will only say one thing to you very clearly. एक तो ऐसा व्यक्ति स्टाफ का जिसने 2 साल में कोई एक छुट्टी ना ली हुई हो, उसकी जरा जो फाइलें वो हैंडल कर रहा है या जो पोर्टफोलियो वो हैंडल कर रहा है उसको अच्छी तरह से हैंडल कर लीजिएगा. कोई व्यक्ति ऐसा नहीं है दुनिया में जिसके घर में या तो वो या उसकी बीवी या उसके माता पिता या उसका बच्चा कभी बीमार ना हो और वो छुट्टी ना ले 2 साल में एक भी. मुझे तो नहीं लगता कोई होता. हमारे स्टाफ में भी तो मेंबर्स है ना. आफ्टर ऑल हम एक ब्रांच के बराबर तो हमारे ऑफिसेस भी हैं यार, चाहे वो आर्टिकल हो या स्टाफ मेंबर हो या रिसेप्शनिस्ट हो, छुट्टी पे तो लेते ही लेते हैं. तो कौन सा ऐसा व्यक्ति जो छुट्टी नहीं लेता? वो छुट्टी इसलिए नहीं ले रहा कि जिस दिन उस सीट पे आके कोई और लोग बैठ गया तो वो एक्सपोज कर देगा कि इसमें क्या हुआ. और यह जो व्यक्ति रोज शाम को बिठा के सबको समोसे खिलाता हो, चाय पिलाता हो, खातिरदारी करता हो, वो व्यक्ति किसी डेंजरस. और ये आपको ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ेगा व्हेन यू आर देयर. दिस यू हैव टू ऑब्जर्व. That's all I will like to say, friends. Thank you very much, Virag. Thanks for your allowing this opportunity today. Thank you.
It's absolutely our pleasure, sir. Wonderful listening to you always, sir. It's like we are listening to music and not any webinar, and not particularly a bank webinar. It's a wonderful to listen you. Shweta ma'am particularly herself is a speaker, still joined only to listen to you. So would like to request Shweta ma'am to say a few words for.
That is her humility. That's all I can say.
नहीं, आई थिंक सर को सुनने के लिए चाहे कोई भी स्टार्ट करे बोलना या कितने ही सालों से बोल रहा हो, बट सर को सुनने के बाद डेफिनेटली we can get so many points and it was fantastic. So I will not talk much. I think Ketan is to today. So
Again, thank you, sir, for joining and addressing
Thank you, Ketan.
giving so many inputs for the upcoming bank branch audit season for all the chartered accountants. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ketan. Thank you. Thanks, Shweta, and thanks, Virag. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
So now we can see on screen Ketan sir presentation as well. So before sir start, I would like to introduce CA Ketan sir is a 30 plus year of experience specializing in accounting, auditing, taxation, serving as managing partner at KDS and Company Chartered Accountant. Sir has conducted various audit for nationalized and foreign banks, large corporates, and PSUs, alongside handling taxation matters for numerous corporate clients. Notable professional roles include being an elected regional council member from WRC and serving in the past as a treasurer and a chairman of Vikasa, among other committee positions. Sir is actively involved in professional development, contributing to publication, updating guidance note, and delivering over 160 plus speeches on topics like bank audit, accounting standard, and ethics. Alongside his professional engagement, Sir also philanthropy, serving as a trustee at Sri Kachi Visa Oswal Sanikasi Jain Mahajan Mumbai, showcasing a diverse portfolio of expertise and community involvement. So, sir, with this brief introduction, we welcome you, sir, and we salute your dedication for the profession. You are traveling in so many cities continuously and serving the profession at this junction of bank branch audit season. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Virag. Let me thank Shweta also for being there, Amarjit, Chopra sir for giving a wonderful opening and making my task very, very easy. As rightly told by Shweta, I think when Chopra sir is here, definitely there is a lot of takeaway which we have in terms of his experience, a vast experience, as you know, and a person with a lot of passion for the bank audit. We have heard him many times, but every time we listen to him and कुछ ना कुछ नया जानने को मिलता है. तो once again, let me thank Amarjit Chopra sir for being there and guiding all of us and doing a wonderful start to this webinar. So once again, thanks to Connect Easy, Virag, for having me invited here to talk on the issue of practical issues in the bank audit. And let's begin the presentation.
Before you start, just want to make one announcement. Like sir has finalized the WRC bank branch audit booklet, also a reference. So audience can purchase that from WRC of ICAI from Mumbai office as well. When I met sir is doing that job also in WRC office. So very meticulously, sir has done the great job to finalize that booklet as well. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. Me, Shweta, all of us, we keep working on such publication, and being there in council, that's our primary job responsibility. And the members have sent us to WIRC for doing these work only for the fraternity, for the student member, the various program publication. This is the basic thing which is being done, and nothing great. I mean, that was part of our job duty, of course honorary, at Western India Regional Council. So friend, we have let's talk about overall scenario in the bank audit. So we can see that there is a reduction in the overall audit happening. The mergers have happened in the bank, and now only 12 PSUs are there. So the opportunities we feel is reduced. That's the feeling of everybody. But let me take you to the other side of it. The second bullet, which says that there are 2 branches per auditor. Earlier we had 3 branches. Last year, the Reserve Bank of India has made it for per firm 2 branches, and because of it, which so many new auditors got the audit last year. Let me tell you that my firm, even I am a category 1 auditor, for 6 years we had no audit, like beginning with 2017, 2021, 22, and 2023 was the year after 6 years we got audit. And maybe these type of reduction in the number of the branches per auditor has increased the number of the firm doing the audit. Now let's come to 22 private bank, where again there are some of the private banks are carrying out the bank branch audit, and they invite application, and if we apply, they allot us 1-2 branches over there also. There are 46 foreign banks, where again some or other opportunities are available, including statutory audit, some other audit, all other small finance bank, payment bank, the RRBs, the urban cooperative banks, rural cooperative bank, and over 2 lakhs of NBFC across India. If we see, these are the places where we see the opportunity in terms of statutory audit, internal audit, various other assignment like verification of KYCs or some other special audit, forensic audit. N number of assignments are there in this sector. When we talk about this entire bank audit and whatever even Chopra sir talked, we feel that there's a tremendous risk in the bank audit, but still a professional like him, the past president, or all of us, me, Shweta, we still love bank audit with a lot of passion. We go and do the bank audit. So you may feel that aisa kya hai bank audit mein? Of course, the fees are decent. It's not good, not bad. There are decent fees which are there in the bank audit post revision, which has happened few years back. But if we come to the experience learning, I think जो हम यहाँ सीखते हैं शायद और कोई ऑडिट में इतना सीखने को नहीं मिलता है. I'll tell you my own experience. One, we never ever had any school client, we never ever had any college client. When we carried out bank audit, there was an opportunity of looking at the project which was sanctioned of an international school as well as some colleges. And when we went through in the detail, credit appraisal, uske projections, all other data, approvals, we realized that kaise one school is getting set up, what are the SWOT analysis, what are the requirements for putting up sub project. Fortunately, some years later, Virag just mentioned that I became honorary trustee in one of the trust, and there we have 7 schools, and the kind of discussion which was happening from the day when I was able to contribute, I was able to understand what is happening, what are the risks, what are the issues which will come up. So thanks to this bank audit, there was a lot of learning. Let me share with you one more example of an infra company. We were doing concurrent audit of infrastructure group in one of the private bank. Again, assignment in concurrent. Most of the assignment, all the auditors are making losses. If I count the value of the time which a chartered accountant is putting into the concurrent audit, कोई भी ऐसा audit नहीं होगा जहां पे loss नहीं होता होगा. But still people do, and we also did in past. So why? So this was one example. We did one infrastructure audit, concurrent audit, ICG group, lot of learning. We can see that there were projects which are being funded having the road project, the bridges, the other infra project. Some years later, we got some CNAG audit of a PSU, wherein we were auditor of a western zone, southern zone, and where when day one we went there, we had some basic idea that what kind of WIP will be there, how the entire project is functioning, what kind of let's say if it is a road project, how many layers are there, what is embarking, what is the passaway, from where what type of bridges are made. If the road is not of a level, what kind of cost will be incurred by the company. When we were discussing and raising the queries, maybe in the year one itself, the company officials were thinking that how do we have knowledge, and in discussion they said generally तीसरे या चौथे साल में the auditors ask those kind of questions are being asked by your team. The first year, second year, third year articles are asking that kind of question, which normally in a third year somebody will ask. So this was because of purely because of the such infrastructure group audit which we carried out. We had some basic knowledge that how the entire working will happen, what will be the WIP calculations if we have to see. And when we carried out a WIP calculation, checking of that, we realized there was sort of a overvaluation. We asked them to reduce that with a proper justification with which company had to agree for. Also, the kind of issues which emerged, our auditor's report in that year was qualified. Because of our auditor's report getting qualified, the company's main balance sheet also was qualified. So a listed company's balance sheet getting qualified because two zones are qualified, West Zone and Southern Zone. So this was all happening because we had some primary knowledge of the infrastructure companies thanks to the bank audit. So in spite of so much risk, I still personally feel that one should do bank audit. The prime reason is number one, learning. Second, we say that we are partner in nation building. So we are the people who have to clean up if whatever mess is there, wherever there are some cleanup required in the bank audit. And many of us have been doing for past several years. And thanks to those qualitative audit, still there's a bank branch audit. And as rightly told by the Chopra sir, this may be the last 4 year, or maybe, in future, we may not see the bank branch audit. But till the time bank branch audit is there, let's try and do the justice to the job which we have been given by the government. Going forward, sir spoke a lot of things about NPA. In fact, in the available time, I may not able to cover up the lot of thing in the non-performing asset or the IRAC norm, and maybe there may be some plan. I was talking to Chirag, the Virag, and Virag also said that let's think over, and maybe they may plan one more session on specifically design on the IRAC on the classification of asset. But nonetheless, since Chopra sir did mention few aspects of it, as and when possible, and if time permit, we will talk couple of issues when we come to those issues about the performing asset, non-performing asset. But yes, the 1st April 2023 circular, rbi.org.in, maybe 40, 50, 60 page circular is a must read before we go on any bank branch audit. And not only once, we must read it twice, thrice. Of course, those who have carried out the earlier bank branch audit, let me tell you, past 3 years, there are no changes in the IRAC norms. Sir rightly said that 90 days for each type of loan, it is 90 days. In case of cash credit or overdraft, so there's a possibility that there's no due date, and the interest debit can be seen in 90 days. But there's a concept called out of order. And out of order, sir also mentioned that where the credit are not sufficient to cover up the debit, or the running balance, the outstanding balance is continuously in excess of drawing power or DP, whichever is less. In all these cases, if it is above 90 days running irregular, out of order, the account will become NPA. In rest all cases, as in when the account's loan is due, let's say today some amount is due, today when you do day end process, it becomes 1 day past due, and accordingly we calculate 90 days. On 90th day when you do a day end process, and if money has not come which was due prior to 90 days, the account become NPA. The system has to flag. Sir very validly said that as an auditor we must see whether the system is automated or not. Few years back, when a forensic was carried out in one of the nationalized bank then existing, it was noticed that for some days the system, automated system, was switched off, and manually the NPA classification was happening. Furthermore, there may be one exception in this entire process, automated process, is buying out the portfolio from the other bank. Technically, each account needs to be classified as NPA based on the record of recovery or based on the other criteria which we will talk. However, in these cases where there is a bunch of account parked in one branch, the individual classification may not be happening in system. We as an auditor need to bring this out and write in the LFAR that there's a pool of account parked, and the individually the classification is not happening in the system, and hence again the automated classification is not happening. So there could be some exception. Barring this, you must see, as rightly told by again sir, SMA 01, the concept of the specially monitored account, SMA 01, SMA 01, 2. So over 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60 days, and over 60 days, accordingly, whenever amount is due, whether it is passing through or progressing from SMA 0 to 1 to 2 or not, carry out a test check, try and collect a data, let's say of 15 January and 15 February, take a loan dump, do a VLOOKUP, and check whether the account where money has not come, if that account was, let's say, earlier in SMA 1, whether it has transferred to SMA 2 or not after passage of 30 days. If not, there's a problem in the system and it is not automated, and then you need to see why it is not automated. And if not, you must report not only into the long form audit report, also in the main report, saying that the system, the automated system, is not functioning properly. We always say that audit, not documented is audit not done, but let me tell you, it is 200% true in case of bank audit. Here, the only thing in case of any inquiries, sir said about DC cases, let me tell you that Reserve Bank of India, the other regulators, many a time when they find that there is a irregularity in the working of the auditor has not performed its duty properly, they are issuing first stage show cause that why action against you should not be taken. And if they do not get a satisfactory answer, they may refer to the case to the DC. They may themselves charge the penalty. The bodies like NAFRA, bodies like SEBI may directly take action also against chartered accountant. The RBI also sometimes is penalizing, also referring the cases to the disciplinary committee of the ICAI. And only thing which is required, which is called from the auditor, is the documentation. Be it your audit working paper, be it your audit program, be it all other document, which we will talk in the next slide, needs to be there, must be there with the auditor. And I'm told that the large firms spend as much as 40% of the time in documentation, and the smaller firm, mid-sized firm, including me, myself also, we are not so good in documentation. But the time has come now. There's no option but to create a best document which is possible in the bank audit, and that only will able to save your scheme, my scheme, tomorrow if there's any inquiry which is being placed by any of the regulatory bodies. Also, we know that for bank auditors, peer review is mandatory. So if you're carrying out a bank branch audit in future, your firm must be peer reviewed, and when you get the peer review done, again the peer reviewer will look at the document which are available with you, beginning with the audit program plan, working papers, and all other supporting documents which you need to collect. So many fraud which are happening in the bank, again, which a lot of time the questions are asked that what auditor is doing, be it fraud, large fraud like what happened in the Punjab National Bank. The auditors are always questioned, be it very small fraud, if they are there in the preview of the auditor's scope. Let's say if I'm carrying out a concurrent audit, and if my scope says I'm supposed to see a XYZ area 100%, and if I have not seen 100%, or if there is a fraud happening in those areas where I was supposed to do an 100% verification, naturally the auditors are asked question, what did you see, how did you see, and what kind of documents you have. So friend, mind well, look at your appointment letter very, very carefully, read it from line 1 to last line, and be careful about what kind of document which you are supposed to sign, including certificate, long form audit report, the balance sheet, other annexures, and everything. So you know your to do, you know where your job is going to end. And when you begin this, naturally you may begin on 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, as and when the banks are allowing you to start the audit. You may not have the final document of March 24, but obviously you will have March 23 document. Sir did mention about comparing of the balance sheet or financial statement, about comparison when you are looking at the DP and the stock statements and the purity of that. Similarly, when you are assessing a bank or a branch, which you are supposed to do, obviously the first step is to review the previous year's auditor's report, the financial statement of March 23 in current year, and decide what kind of manpower will be required, whether you need to focus in deposit, in advances, it's a deposit oriented branch, advance oriented branch, it's IFB branch, it's a forex branch, or it's a specialized branch like service branch or asset recovery branch. And accordingly your audit program, percentage of check, materiality level, everything will be fixed up based on the type of the branch which you are auditing. Excel utility, I think one of the wonderful creation in past few years by ICAI is this Excel utility. If you have not used last time, still you have 5 days, please download that utility and try and fill up the data for the March 23 audit. If you have carried it out of any bank, fill up that data so you realize that what all you did and where all you were missing, and that becomes a tasting ground. And now when you go to carry out an audit of March 2024, you will more smartly, more better way, you will able to fill up the Excel utility. And let me tell you, once you fill up the Excel utility 100%, I'm sure you will be covering a bank branch audit more than 50% at least. Whatever document, everything, if you collect. Document, as I said, is most crucial, and this is the basic thing which is going to help you in the entire bank audit, in the compliance, and it is going to minimize your risk. Let me quickly run through the kind of document which a guidance note is suggesting, beginning with the engagement letter, balance sheet, the LFAR we will create, MR we will take from the bank, acceptance letter, the attendance certificate. One of the case which happened in one of the bank was in the disciplinary, one complaint came, and wherein the bank manager said that the auditors never visited the branch. हम लोग आजकल फोटो का जमाना है, कई बार यहाँ जाते हैं फोटो लेते हैं, वहां जाते हैं फोटो लेते हैं. पहले तो मोबाइल ही नहीं थे और इतने सारे कैमरा नहीं होते थे, तो ये होता नहीं था. बट आजकल हम देखते हैं कि हर जगह लोग फोटो लेते हैं. तो ये भी एक जगह है, बैंक ऑडिट पे आप जाते हो तो टीम के साथ बैंक में फोटो लीजिए, शायद पता नहीं कभी आपको काम है. And obviously the attendance certificate, the day you landed the branch, how many hours you have put in. Let's say you begin at 9 a.m. in the morning and you were there in the branch till 10, 11, 12 a.m. So take attendance certificate with time in, time out, number of hours, the number of the person with their names, and take on letterhead signed by them, so that if any such complaint, whether genuine, ingenuine, happens, if you want to present your case, you are able to give these type of documentary evidences apart from the evidences or the report which you must have generated in the bank branch audit. Guidance note says collect the document, the following document. There's a list of 15-20 documents which are given. I have picked up few of them. Obviously, when you go to bank, one of the argument for any word is ऐसा कोई document नहीं. For example, the first item, trial balance. When you go and say that कि हमको आपका trial balance दो, they may say हमारे पास trial balance है ही नहीं. Mind well, the nomenclature changes bank to bank. Somebody may call it as a day end balances, day book, whatever may be the name. आप उनको ये explain करिए, I need a list of account with the closing balance, debit, credit. So eventually you are asking a trial balance. So moment he says we don't have trial balance, ask him कि आपका day end process होता है, that time, which is that statement which gives you the breakup of all the account and the balances. Mind well, ये trial balance बहुत ही helpful है. हम broadly जितने area cover करने हैं उसकी बात करेंगे आने वाली slides में. But there are so many accounts which are only reflected in trial balance, or that whatever name they are calling. And when I have personally experienced, when you call कि ये account क्या है, इसका nature क्या है, the standard answer is we don't have detail. This is auto generated by the system, और ये तो बस system generate करता है, हमारे पास कुछ detail नहीं. No problem. Take those list of those accounts, write back them a mail and say that these accounts, you have given an explanation that you don't have any detail and these are the auto generated account or the account generated from the bank, some posting, some processes, and let him confirm that. Moment he confirms that, similarly you can give in your long form audit report at appropriate places that these are the accounts which we have not verified, we are unable to verify because these are not generated because of the bank branch doing some transaction, but they were because of something else. Do fayda hai. If whatever he said is fact, you are trying and bringing out this point to this management, to the central auditors, that these are the account for which I don't have any detail at the branch level. Second, when you write a mail and take a confirmation, if somebody is just for the sake of giving an explanation telling you that I don't have detail, I'm not aware of this, he's also duty bound. He's also accountable when he's giving you in writing that he is not having detail. But for oral explanation tomorrow, you may not have a fallback. If he says कि मैंने ऐसा बोला ही नहीं था, let's say some fraud happened in IOR. एक nationalized बैंक में वाशी branch में fraud हुआ है inter office reconciliation accounts में 12 crore रुपए का. Now in some such situation, the auditor says that the manager told me that inter office account reconciliations या कुछ भी आपको यहाँ देखना नहीं है, सब कुछ HO में हो रहा है. एज ए ऑडिटर, एज ए ब्रांच ऑडिटर, मान लीजिए मुझे कुछ देखना था और मुझे ये एक्सप्लेनेशन दी गई और मैंने नहीं देखा, then there are all possibilities that I am having a guilty of professional misconduct because I was supposed to see some aspect of it. Let's say IOR account, क्योंकि IOR account की बात चल रही है, 2 मिनट उस पर बात करते हैं. If there are 10 IOR account, number one, first understand the nature of each account. In this fraud, let's say I was not supposed to debit banker's check in X account. For banker's check, there was a Z account, but instead of debiting in Z account, I debited to X account. Also, corresponding debit credit होने के बाद, it should have gone to customer's account. It did not go to customer account because the Z account, which was being scrutinized always by the other officers, they were feeling कि banker's check है ही नहीं. Whereas the gentleman was trying and taking in connivance with the obviously the person in whose favor the banker's check were issued, was not debiting there and hence not going a debit to the customer account, और वो effectively उसके account में पैसा ही नहीं था, आता ही नहीं था, and this type of entries got accumulated in X account where they were not supposed to accumulate. And after a passage of time, the amount accumulated to 12 crore, and thereafter it went to somebody's mind, it went to somebody's eyes, and when it was investigated, they realized it was nothing but a fraud. As a bank branch auditor, आप nature of accounts देखिए, accounts को flip through कीजिए, एक scrutiny कीजिए, एक अपने आंखों से देखिए. Do you find any abnormal entries? Then definitely take out the vouchers. Ask specifically queries relating to those entries. There are certain banks in which on a particular date, let's say on 30th September, balances are transferred from these accounts to some other account or HO account. ऐसा है, to understand that system, go in the past year, go check the current year, so you will realize whether there was some transfer which was required and whether that has been done. Let me at this juncture also talk about suspense and sundry. हम breakup तो देते ही हैं, more than 3 month, more than 6 month LFR में देते हैं, and as per RBI guidelines उसका provisioning भी बैंक कर देती है. उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम कई बार नहीं आता है, most of the cases. But you find a suspense account with zero balance. There have been fraud. सर ने बताया कि सिस्टम सिर्फ डेबिट क्रेडिट पड़ती है, and let's say there is a cash credit account or there is a term loan account, उसमें इंटरेस्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट या पैसा आना चाहिए, वो नहीं आया, and I want to manipulate. What I will do is I will create a debit in suspense, credit to loan account, and immediately next moment I will again debit loan account and credit to suspense account. Now eventually if I only see the closing balance, ये suspense account में कुछ भी balance नहीं है, तो मैं सोचूंगा zero balance है, क्यों देखूं. Also, when I go to loan accounts, I will see कि पैसा आया गया है. Account like a cash credit, there will be n number of debit credit. तो मैं सोचूंगा पैसा आया और गया है. System will consider that money has come, and since money has come, it will not flash it as a NPA, SMA 0, 1, 2, कुछ भी नहीं होगा वो. तो इन वाले cases में you will not realize unless you apply your mind that what kind of credits have come in other account. इसीलिए हम बोलते हैं कि in each type of advance, each type of deposit, loans, everything, go through the loan accounts so you will understand कि clearing आता है तो क्या लिखते हैं, transferred हो रहा है within the bank पैसा तो क्या लिख रहे हैं, all other abnormal entries में क्या हो रहा है, क्या narration आ रहा है, किस type के numbers आ रहे हैं, and based on that you will able to apply your mind and think that whether the entries are genuine or not. So ये लिस्ट है, क्लोजिंग सर्कुलर लीजिए बैंक का, एचओ का, टेक द लिस्ट ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट जो मैंने बोला, क्योंकि अदरवाइज ऑन द लास्ट डे दे मे कम अप एंड से दैट कि इतने डॉक्यूमेंट में साइन चाहिए. फॉर देम इट इज मियर डॉक्यूमेंट एंड मियर सिग्नेचर. फॉर मी इट इज ट्रू एंड करेक्ट. Onus is on me. Whatever data is given in that, whatever wordings are given in that, I am certifying it as true and correct. Most of the certificates, in some of the certificate I may be giving an opinion, so I am duty bound to check them. And when I am leaving a bank branch premises और कोई आके बोलता है कि सर कुछ पेजेस पे आपका सिग्नेचर रह गया है, उनके लिए मास पेजेस है बट हमारे लिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसीलिए ऐसा कुछ ना हो, इसलिए डे 1 ask the list of the certificate which you are supposed to sign. उनकी सारी डेटा लीजिए, how the certificate is made, what are the basic document, is it software driven. Answer most of the cases में यही होगा कि सर हमने कुछ किया नहीं है, कंप्यूटर सिस्टम से डेटा निकालना है। बोलिए ठीक है, मैं आपके साथ सिस्टम पे बैठता हूँ और यही डेटा मुझे आप 5 अप्रैल का 10 अप्रैल का निकाल के बताइए, या 31 मार्च का। मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस में बोलेंगे 31 मार्च क्लोज हो गया है, नाउ वी कैन नॉट शो यू दैट। ठीक है भैया, अगर ये सर्टिफिकेट 4 अप्रैल को बनाना है तो हाउ विल यू टेक आउट द डेटा? I have said, look at the previous year's certificate, previous year's report, previous year's internal, concurrent, everything. This will help you find out which is a gray area in branch. Internal auditor, concurrent auditor वहां 12 महीना रहते हैं, या इंटरनल ऑडिटर 12 महीने का डेटा वेरीफाई करता है, शायद महीना 2 महीना रह के तो नेचुरली उनका टाइम स्पेंड मेरे से बहुत ज्यादा है, उन्होंने एरिया बहुत ज्यादा डीप में देखा है। तो टेक the serious irregularities reported by them and try and correlate with your classification, with your long form audit report. Will it have require any reporting in these, whether any account, because of whatever irregularities, serious irregularities being reported in such reports, will it affect their classification? RBI circulars का हमने बात किया 2023 1st April, go through that, take all this report, find out is there any inquiry happening on any of the person or any of any incident, at what stage that inquiry is there a case of accountability? मान लीजिए कई बैंकों में for early mortality cases there are investigations, there are they find out whether any staff involvement is there any accountability? अगर उसकी इंक्वायरी कंप्लीट हो गई है तो वो देखिए, उसके रिपोर्ट देखिए, अगर नहीं, you can mention that there is an inquiry going on or a vigilance inquiry or any other whatever name they may be using in their bank. Try and do an comparative analysis. फ्रेंड ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। देखिए बैंक ऑडिट हमारे पास टाइम कम है। At micro level we will carry out a taste check, we will pick up the 10 account maybe in each category, advance deposit, everything. On a macro level we may do an analysis. The analysis need not be told to chartered accountant. ये तो एक महज एग्जांपल है कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस का। तो कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस नेचुरली करिए, एक्सपेंडिचर, इनकम, डिपॉजिट बड़े हैं तो उसके साथ साथ एक्सपेंडिचर उस प्रोपोर्शन में बढ़ा है या नहीं, एडवांसेस बड़े हैं तो उस प्रोपोर्शन में इनकम बढ़ी है क्या, प्रोसेसिंग फीस उतनी आई है या नहीं आई है। सो मैक्रो लेवल एनालिसिस ऑफ ट्रायल बैलेंस, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, द अकाउंट विच वर लास्ट ईयर सबस्टैंडर्ड इस ईयर D1 में जा रहे हैं या पैसा आ गया, अपग्रेड हो गए या नहीं, अगेन अ कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस। इफ आई टेल यू also one more example, there can be n number of examples when we talk about analysis and verifying on a macro level the balance sheet and the profit and loss account and the bank's financial statements on the document which we sign, including certificate. When we compare with the previous year data, तो previous year में क्या था certificate में, इस year क्या था. Every time when you are looking at certificate, keep beside that certificate previous year certificate and see what figures were given in previous year and now what figures are given. Coming to one such analysis which we carry out and we found useful in many of the bank branch audit is an average analysis. मान लीजिए मैं सेविंग बैंक की बात करता हूं या कैश क्रेडिट ओवरड्राफ्ट की बात करता हूं। एक साइड सेविंग बैंक is my liability and the amount which I pay to the depositor is going to be my expenditure. Similarly in advances, it's an asset. I am lending the money to the third person. What interest I'm getting is my income. ये दो पैरामीटर हैं। सेविंग बैंक में मैं बैंक को बोलता हूं कि हर महीने का मान लीजिए क्लोजिंग बैलेंस दे दीजिए, या एवरी दे हैव अ फ्राइडे रिपोर्टिंग एंड ऑल दोस थिंग, तो बोलिए लास्ट फ्राइडे इन ईच मंथ गिव मी हाउ मच वाज अ बैलेंस इन सेविंग बैंक। आपके पास इस साल के 12 महीने आ गए, प्रीवियस ईयर के 12 महीने ले लीजिए, 24 महीने का डेटा है, 12 मंथ्स डेटा ऐड कीजिए, डिवाइड बाय 12, सो यू हैव एन एब्सोल्यूट एवरेज ऑफ 12 मंथ आउटस्टैंडिंग। ये बहुत मोटा मोटा कैलकुलेशन है, इट मे नॉट बी टू दी लास्ट एक्यूरेट परसेंटेज, बट मान लीजिए मेरे पास एक एवरेज बैलेंस आया 1 करोड़ रुपया। हम मानते हैं इन अ नॉर्मल नेशनलाइज्ड बैंक, फॉरगेट अबाउट दोस डायनामिक प्रोडक्ट वेयर दे आर 5-6-7% दे आर गिविंग और दे आर कार्विंग आउट द डिपॉजिट एंड फ्रॉम द सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट एंड पे हायर इंटरेस्ट, उसका भी एनालिसिस हो सकता है, बट अभी हम सिंपल सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट बैलेंस की बात कर रहे हैं। तो मान लीजिए मेरी एवरेज आई 1 करोड़ रुपया। Now I will look at the expenditure of the saving bank interest. मान लीजिए मेरा 3.5% एवरेज है, तो वहां 3.5% 3.5 लाख के करीब अगर इंटरेस्ट डेबिट हुआ है, तो ओवरऑल आप ये मान सकते हो कि कोई बहुत बड़ा गलती इंटरेस्ट में नहीं है। मान लीजिए इंटरेस्ट सिर्फ 2 लाख है या 5 लाख है, 4.5 लाख है, तब तो आपको डिगिंग करनी है। यू नीड टू गो इनटू डिटेल एंड वेरीफाई। ऑल्सो जब आप ये एवरेज बैलेंसेस देखते हो, हमने 2 जगह पे देखा, एक डिपॉजिट में, एक जगह पे देयर वाज वन स्पेशल स्कीम, whatever was the name of the scheme, let me change that name of scheme, let's say that was a Rajlakshmi scheme. हमने देखा कि अब राजलक्ष्मी स्कीम में जब हम एवरेज बैलेंस कैलकुलेट किए हमने, तो 1 करोड़ आया। हमने पूछा इस फिक्स डिपॉजिट में स्कीम में इंटरेस्ट रेट क्या है, तो बताया गया कि 8% है। हमारा एवरेज इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट आया 9.5%। तो हमने बोला कि ये एवरेज इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट 9.5% आ रहा है, इसकी डिटेल दीजिए। सिंपली बैंक सेड दैट नहीं नहीं, सब कुछ बराबर है, कंप्यूटराइज है, कोई गलती नहीं होगा, एंड ये आपका एनालिसिस हमारे समझ में नहीं आता है, कंप्यूटर कोई गलती करता ही नहीं है, एंड आपको जो करना है करो, हमारे पास कोई इसका डेटा नहीं है, ये सब कुछ एचओ से होता है, हमारे पास डिटेल ही नहीं है। हमने बोला वी हैव अ क्वेश्चन इन लॉन्ग फॉर्म ऑडिट रिपोर्ट वेयर आई एम सपोज्ड टू सी दैट इफ देयर इज अ डाइवर्जेंट ट्रेंड you need to provide an explanation. So I am putting before you there's a divergent trend. In the earlier year, I see that the average interest cost was coming at around 8% and your rate of interest is matching to 8%. एक साल में interest rate on this particular scheme is not risen और आपका average 1.5% ज्यादा आ रहा है, तो आप ढूंढिए। Of course बैंक ने कोई ढूंढने का कोशिश किया नहीं, हमने उनको ईमेल डाला राइटिंग में, we said that we will report this as a divergent trend. Not only that, simultaneously we started digging in this scheme. बाकी स्कीम में मान लीजिए मैंने एवरेज 10 अकाउंट लिए, इस स्कीम में टीम को बोला कि 25 अकाउंट निकालिए जिसका इंटरेस्ट चेक करिए। One account we got, obviously in that particular scheme, in that branch there were more than 1000 accounts, तो जो 25-50 अकाउंट हमने सिलेक्ट किए, एक अकाउंट मिला जिसमें थर्ड क्वार्टर में the interest was credited twice. अब मेरा काम हो गया था, मैंने उनको वो अकाउंट एज ए सैंपल दिया और बोला ये गलती कैसे हुई कंप्यूटर से और ये इसकी आप इन्वेस्टिगेशन कीजिए, वरना आई विल गिव अ डिस्क्लेमर बेस्ड ऑन दैट दिस also do a reporting in long form audit report, simultaneously in main report. Maybe I may qualify my report, maybe I may give a disclaimer saying that these errors have happened in computer and for which no explanation has been provided to me, and the bank has not provided me the quantification in how many accounts this has happened. When we flag this issue, not only to the branch, to the central auditors, to the senior officials, zonal office, central office of that particular bank, immediately an investigation was carried out and they realized that third quarter में somebody recollected in system department saying कि third quarter में कुछ तो problem चल रहा था, system was down, हमने कोई command pass की थी and then we deleted that command क्योंकि interest posting हो नहीं पा रहा था, and then we recreated, we deleted command and we posted again interest in some of the scheme, and maybe in this particular scheme, in this process, the credit of interest has gone to some account. Friend, ये सिर्फ ना सिर्फ मेरी ब्रांच पे हुआ था, कई सारी ब्रांचेस पे हुआ था, and this issue, since this was flagged, I was told later on there was a huge interest reversal across the bank, the expenditure reduced to a huge amount and because of which the bank's profitability increased. In my branch, they found out as many as some 30-40 accounts, which not only the reversal did, in spite of that, we gave a disclaimer saying that we don't know. We have not verified the 100% of the system because it's not possible to see in the given number of days to us, and we have not seen. However, the system department has taken out these many accounts and this much interest reversal has happened because of these errors. This was one example. One on window dressing. We found that the average balance in current account and CC has gone up in March. April में फिर से कम हो जा रहा है. One of the leading nationalized bank Indore branch we found, Diamond branch in Mumbai we found these type of trend. तो हमने सोचा कि CC के balances as of January, February, March हम प्लॉट करते हैं, व्हील को लगाते हैं, कुछ एनालिसिस बच्चे करते हैं एक्सेल में, और कितने अकाउंट है जिसमें बैलेंस बढ़ा है. We found few account where the balance has gone up by crores of rupees. जब हमने जाके एंट्रियां देखी, in some of the account, though it is not allowed by Reserve Bank of India to open a simultaneous current account of same entity, there were current account of same entity where debit was put in the cash credit account and credit in those current deposit account. So मेरा deposit बढ़ गया, मेरे advances बढ़ गए. अब इंटरेस्ट लगा उस अकाउंट में, नेचुरली कोई बोरोवर इंटरेस्ट देगा नहीं. हमने पिछले सालों में जाके देखा, दिस ट्रेंड वाज देयर इन पास्ट 4-5 years to the extent we were able to go through, and we realized there was some credit in some of the account in the month of August, September, October. इन दिनों में जो इंटरेस्ट चार्ज हुआ था, मान लीजिए अप्रैल 30 को कोई इंटरेस्ट सिस्टम ने चार्ज किया, 31 मार्च को कोई इंटरेस्ट चार्ज किया, बिकॉज वो कैश क्रेडिट के अकाउंट से 1 करोड़ रुपया करंट डिपॉजिट में गया है. तो इन केसेस में जो इंटरेस्ट चार्ज हुआ था, नेचुरली कोई बोरोवर देगा नहीं. तो a compensatory credit was passed saying that wrong interest charge credited in August to the borrower's account. Thanks to these type of analysis, these type of errors can be searched, and as I said, there could be many more creative analysis which we can do with the use of advanced Excel. आज हम एक लेजर डंप यदि लोन लेजर्स के डंप ले लें, उनको एक्सेल में विद द पावर क्वेरी एक एनालिसिस करें और देखें कि किस टाइप के अकाउंट्स जनरेट हो रहे हैं, लेजर किस तरह से एक्सेल में दिखा रहा है. इन द प्रीवियस ईयर इन मार्च 23, वन ऑफ द फ्रेंड शेयर्ड विथ मी कि वो इस तरह से एक्सेल में एनालिसिस करके देख रहे थे लोन लेजर को. दे रियलाइज वन एजुकेशनल लोन सैंक्शन 8 years बैक इज स्टिल शोन एज ए स्टैंडर्ड. उन्होंने सोचा कि एजुकेशन लोन है, मान लीजिए कि कोई अगर कोर्स कर रहा है तो वो 3 साल का होगा, 2 साल का होगा, ज्यादा से ज्यादा 5 साल का होगा. 8 साल का क्यों है? अब तक क्यों दिख रहा है कि अकाउंट आउटस्टैंडिंग भी है, स्टैंडर्ड में भी है? उन्होंने जाके देखा, दे सॉ देयर वाज अ मॉरेटोरियम. ना मॉरेटोरियम में बैंक को डालना था 60 months, किसी ने गड़बड़ से डाल दिया 60 years. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस नीदर नोबडी बॉदर टू कॉल फॉर द रीपेमेंट, ना बोरोवर ने आके पैसा दिया और अकाउंट स्टैंडर्ड ही दिख रहा है. सो फ्रेंड, व्हेन यू कैरी आउट सच रिव्यू इन एक्सेल ऑफ द लोन, आपको पता चलेगा कि किस तरह की गलतियां अभी भी, दो पीपल क्लेम कि कंप्यूटराइज है, कोई गलती नहीं मिलेगा. n number of errors you will find when you do such analysis, when you find that. So kindly do testing of those controls. एक और किस्सा ऐसा आया पिछले साल में, बोला कि लोग ड्राइंग पावर, डेट और अमाउंट फीड कर देते हैं सिस्टम में. द ऑडिटर व्हेन ही सेड दैट वेयर आर द स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट्स, तो स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट अवेलेबल नहीं है. Do I consider the DP in these cases? Obviously no. If I don't see any stock statement submitted by the borrower, only the data is punched, date of stock statement received, amount of stock available, and based on that DP is available. In cases mein I cannot consider the drawing power. There are various certificates. Some of the certificate like Jilani goes. Nobody today, many of the auditors are not using the negative assurance draft which ICAI is given. Also, they are telling that there are other issues. I will come to that when we come to the limited space available because of the utilities which banks have created for reporting. उस पे हम आते हैं 2 minute बाद. But on specifically a certificate like Jilani goes, try and use the negative assurance draft where the ICAI has given you a wonderful draft which is reducing your risk, limiting your scope, wherein you are saying that other than these areas, I haven't seen, other than these issues, I have not seen, or the reporting mechanism is different. कई सारे questions हैं which as a branch auditor I am not able to see because if I need to be there for 12 months, then I will able to answer. In such cases, I am relying on the explanation. ये हमें we need to bring out in the such certificate. So try and use those guidelines which ICAI is giving through this guidance note and try and follow them. Fixed asset, again a area not seen by the auditors. कई जगह पे सॉफ्टवेयर के इशू हैं. They have a dedicated fixed asset software in the bank. तो fixed asset register 31st मार्च का लीजिए. न्यू asset purchase, उनके अप्रूवल्स, उनके ओरिजिनल बिल्स अवेलेबल है नहीं, है या नहीं, फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन कैरी आउट किया है नहीं, depreciation, whatever method banks are following of depreciation, rate of depreciation which they are following. Bank reconciliation, if you have account of any other bank, हम most of the time इस एरिया में ये देखते हैं कि हमारा अकाउंट कोई और बैंक में है. मान लीजिए I am auditing Bank of India or Punjab National Bank, I will see that whether my branch account is there in the SBI or not. There is another possibility that in my bank there may be a account of some other small bank like a cooperative bank, और उसका हम review ही नहीं करते हैं. One case came up with one branch auditor wherein for one day one cooperative bank's account in a nationalized bank was having a debit balance. Mind well, there are current account for clearing for some other purpose kept of any other bank. It could be private bank, it could be cooperative bank, urban cooperative banks, rural cooperative bank. But उनका जो पैसा है वही पैसा वो use कर सकते हैं. I cannot give them a overdrawing, a short-term loan also without proper approvals. I am not supposed to give. So I cannot say that कि उनका clearing आते ही रहता है, रोज उनका credit balance रहता है. One day I had to help them, oblige them because they are doing business with me, and I allowed them a overdrawing of 1 crore. That's a serious error. So try and review such account. If the banks are having accounts of other bank like State Bank or RBI, call for a reconciliation or a bank balance confirmation on 31st March. Many a time it is seen. For example, one of the nationalized bank, Calcutta main branch, at one stage the auditors were given 30th March balance confirmation, and they was told that 30 March का तो confirmation है, so one day entry you can see and try and see that the whatever entries are debit credit. Now let's say in a normal circumstances I may feel कि 31 का नहीं है, 30 तक का reconciliation है, so what can be the problem? But in this case, when auditor insisted that I want 31st March ka balance confirmation, he realized that there was a penalty and interest charged by the Reserve Bank of India of 69 lakh rupees on 31st March. अब किस लिए ये charge किया था? This branch is doing a government business. Let's say government business में I am supposed to transfer money on T+1 basis or whatever may be the RBI guidelines, and I delayed in transferring. I delayed reporting. I filed returns late. There could be n number of reasons because of which RBI may penalize you. There could be some investigation happening. मान लीजिए आपके यहाँ KYC वेरिफिकेशन हुआ रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया का, आपने नहीं किया है. कई सारे केसेस है. If you go and Google up, you will realize 1 lakh, 5 lakh, n number of cases where penalties are charged. Now let's say these penalties are charged at the quarter end, at the year end, और आपने अगर एक दिन पहले का बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन देखा तो ये वाला डेबिट अगर पीएनएल में नहीं रहा तो it will go in next year, and if you get that debit you may have to give a memorandum of changes, MOC देना पड़ेगा provisioning requirement के लिए. So try and call for balance on 31st March. If you don't have, try and report that in long form audit report saying that I have not been provided with the balance confirmation as on 31st March. Inter-branch reconciliation. This is one circular which I have referred. There are so many circulars and so many frauds which have happened. एक fraud का हमने already बात किया. If you have Nostro account, be careful. There are n number of cases which are noted that there are entries unreconciled debited over there. Ask in your bank, ask in your branch, do you have any inquiry memo from your system department? If yes, have you responded to that? What kind of inquiry memos have come? Apply your mind. If there are unreconciled entries on 31st March, definitely ask them. And as I said, even if you find such accounts are having nil balance, do go through those entries. Cash, carry out a surprise physical verification. You may not able to carry out 31st March if you have outstation branches. अगर local branch है तो शायद आप जा पाओगे. If I am from Mumbai and if I have a branch of Mumbai, I may go to Mumbai branch and see the cash verification. Along with this, ATMs, including one this year, so many big frauds have happened where there are cash shortages found in ATM. Casually, when I tell to the branch management that I want to carry out a physical verification at ATM, they may call some person and say कि इनके साथ जाइए and carry out. I may presume that that person is a bank staff and he may be a cash loading agency's person, and he may take me in his car and show some ATM which he want to show me, and that may be having perfect cash balance. So number one, do a surprise verification. Don't tell in advance, whether at physical cash at branch or cash at the ATMs. Number two, take bank official along with you who are the employees of the bank, and tell them not to inform if there are cash loading agencies, so that bank officer and you jointly can go and verify the cash balances in the ATM. Third, Spend 5 minutes. Tell your team member to spend 5 minutes and look at the registers. There are cases where it has happened that the manual cash registers are having problem. See, you will go on the year end and verify the cash. However, banks have a system in place, and I'm supposed to report in my long form audit report whether cash is into single custody, joint custody, depending upon the size of the branch. So even to answer this question, I must see the cash roll, cash register कि दो लोगों के signatures हैं या नहीं. Surprise cash verification at a regular interval by the branch manager or some senior officer is done or not. Third, there'll be a key change register. If I am as a cashier going on leave, whether I'm handing over the keys, the registers में entry की जा रही है नहीं. There are cases where the registers were not updated. For example, key change register is not updated. चाबी कोई unauthorized person को दी गई, उन्होंने duplicate चाबियां बना ली. One of the case, if you Google up, is there of one of the nationalized bank in Mumbai, where with the use of duplicate keys, 30 lakh rupees was removed. Of course, on a second day, third day, the person doing this was caught. But the point which came up was key change register was not updated, was not maintained. So friends, spend 5 minutes. These are all items which you can verify in 5-10 minutes. Create a checklist of these particular areas and take enough document that you have verified the cash along with the denomination cash certificate. लीजिए कि 500 के नोट इतने हैं, 200 के इतने हैं, 100 के इतने हैं और इतने 10-20 रुपए हैं. Take their signature, put your signature, make 2-3 copies, give them 1 copy so it is proved that you have carried out a cash verification. Also, generate some systems generated reports, keep those also with you, which proves that the cash physically verified by you, cash reported in the system is matching. In same way, ATM से जो भी report आते हैं, report generate कीजिए. KYCs, you may feel कि बहुत छोटा area है, क्यों देखना है? Let me tell you the maximum fraud which have happened. If we see the analysis of fraud, if we see the reporting, कई सारे cases में ये देखा जा रहा है कि original documents are not there, original verified के stamp नहीं लगाए हैं. KYC लेते वक्त एक rule है, they are supposed to see, take signature in their front of the bank officer on whatever document they are taking as my identity proof. उसके ऊपर मेरे signature as a person in front of bank किए जा रहे हैं, original bank के officials verify कर रहे हैं, उनके stamp है. मान लीजिए आपके branch में KYC का data available नहीं है, आपको बोला जाता है कि this is centralized, we are sending all the data to the central office. Write that. Second question you may ask, at what interval you are sending. Let's say they are sending every monthly. Then obviously in the first week of April, if you are going there, March data must be available. Try and do a test check of March data and also mention that April to February documents are not available in the branch. Some of the bank you will able to see on the screen. If you are able to see on the screen, say that I have verified on screen whatever data was getting populated of these KYC, but do a reporting. There are n number of cases which have happened where the KYC was poor and because of which the frauds have happened. कुछ और डॉक्यूमेंट, अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर की मैंने बात की कि अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर पढ़िए, अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर को देखिए, आपको कितने सर्टिफिकेट साइन करने हैं, कितने डेटा देखने हैं, ये बहुत जरूरी है. I'm just seeing the time, it's 7:40. So Virag has given me time till 8 o'clock, and whatever time if he permits, and maybe some little time we can extend, otherwise we'll try and wrap up the areas which we want to cover up. So these are the documents which we must take in the bank audit. Of course, one of the point which I wanted to highlight is limitation in reporting the which is happening because of the utility design. मान लीजिए लॉन्ग फॉर्म ऑडिट रिपोर्ट मैं ऑनलाइन भर रहा हूँ, मुझे 500 वर्ड लिखने हैं, वहां पे सिर्फ 200 वर्ड है, और लेट्स से यस नो ड्रॉप डाउन है, नो लिखने के बाद एक और ड्रॉप डाउन खुलना चाहिए, and I must able to give the reasoning why I am saying no. Let's say only 2 drop down are possible, yes and no, but I want to say not applicable. So if there are any limitations, then and there if you're able to write, okay, you write down, no select करिए और लिखिए, actually I want to pick up not applicable, but the option is not there. Let's say इस document में कोई option नहीं है. Try and create one document, sign that, create a PDF of that, and go and see other certificates, main reports, long form audit report. Somewhere you will find possibilities of uploading other document. There you go and upload this document. So you have done your duty, you have conveyed to the management, since there was no place at a particular place, I have uploaded this document here. Second, मान लीजिए ये कुछ भी नहीं है, email them, write an email to them, say that this is my report in addition to the utility which you have provided me. I wanted to say this, I wanted to report this, and since there was no space available, I am sending it to you. Don't forget to mark a CC to the central auditors also, along with the whatever email IDs are given, including that of branch, including that of zonal office, central office, and the central auditors, so that you have done your duty, because this issue was there of practical limitation. You have conveyed, you have done your reporting. हमने बात ऑलरेडी की एडवांसेस की, डिपॉजिट्स की, जिसमें हम एनालिसिस करें एंड वी पिक अप लार्ज डिपॉजिट. ऑफ कोर्स टॉप 10 अकाउंट ऐसे भी हम देखने वाले हैं. लिस्ट ऑफ द अकाउंट्स वी आर गोइंग टू गिव व्हिच वी हैव वेरीफाइड. इन अकाउंट्स में you don't have any choice, you are 100% verifying account operation, documentation, security, title report, valuation report, जो जितने सारे डॉक्यूमेंट देखने हैं सारे डॉक्यूमेंट देखिए. बोरोवर्स के सिबिल, बोरोवर के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, प्रोजेक्शंस, अगर एजुकेशन लोन है तो द अप्रूवल्स, द एडमिशंस, कार लोन है तो फोटो ऑफ कार, डुप्लीकेट की, क्या बैंक का प्रोसेस है, गोल्ड लोन है तो डू दे टेक द वैल्यूएशन, एक्सटर्नल वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट, और डू दे डू इंटरनल वैल्यूएशन. Is it a EMI loan? It's a bullet loan. There are n number of cases. Time permitting, we will talk about them. We will discuss about them. But जितने भी loans में early warning signals जो दिखते हैं, this is a ICAI publication, early warning signals of fraud in advances. पढ़िए उसको भी, देखिए उसको भी. That's a good reference book. जितने जहां पे early warning signals है, everywhere go back and see the documentation proof, see the supporting credit appraisal. आप देख रहे हो, नए advances देख रहे हो इस साल के. I am not saying that you are only supposed to see incremental advances. There have been cases where auditors said we have only seen incremental cases. RBI said no, you are not only supposed to see incremental advances, you are supposed to see not only those top advances, but you need to do a taste check of the advances in each type of advance. Let's say मेरे पास 10 type के loans हैं, including personal loan, home loan, gold loan, n number of loan. हर में से मैं 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 a sufficient taste check based on your own judgment you will do. Apart from those compulsory advances about 2 crore, about 10 crore, about whatever your branch size is based on the percentage, you will take those advances, you will verify them 100%. बाकी के advance taste check पे देखिएगा, the account which have turned NPA, you must verify the date of NPA, the security available. In substandard D1, D2 हम अभी बात नहीं करेंगे, बहुत कम टाइम है आज, but go and read the master circular when an account is becoming NPA. हमने बोला broadly 90 दिन का बात किया. If they have become NPA, first 12 months they are into substandard, then they are shifted to D1, D2, and upon auditor's identification that may go to loss asset. In substandard D1, D2, you must check security value. Substandard है मतलब इस साल में ही NPA हुआ है. You must check the date of NPA. You must check the unrealized income. Be it interest income, other income needs to be reversed. वो रिवर्सल बैंक ने किया है या नहीं किया है. लॉस असेट 100% प्रोवाइडेड है, एक बार आप छोड़ दोगे चलेगा. D3 100% प्रोवाइडेड है, इवन इफ यू डोंट सी नो प्रॉब्लम. स्टैंडर्ड, सब स्टैंडर्ड D1, D2 ये आपको देखना ही देखना है. वैरायटी ऑफ लोन. सब स्टैंडर्ड में सर ने डीपी की बात की थी. डीपी कैलकुलेशन इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अ कैश क्रेडिट अकाउंट. आपको ये देखना है कि 5 करोड़ के ऊपर के अकाउंट है, RBI mandate is there, the bank needs to carry out a stock audit report through an independent chartered accountant. तो 5 करोड़ के अकाउंट ऊपर के हैं, उसकी लिस्ट लीजिए. आपके एक्सेल में आपने जॉटिंग ली, उसपे से आपको वो लिस्ट मिल गई. उनको बोलिए इन सारे सबके मुझे स्टॉक ऑडिट रिपोर्ट दिखाइए. Go through the stock audit report. So you realize if there are negative comments, if there is irregularity reported by independent chartered accountant, if it is affecting a drawing power, then naturally the accounts classification will get affected. From standard it may slip to NPA. सर ने एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात कही, इस साल का बोरोवर का बैलेंस शीट नहीं है मेरे पास. If I have March 23 balance sheet, I will compare the March 23 stock data statement given, and if there is a huge difference, naturally I will report, I will take appropriate action in calculation of drawing power, and accordingly I will decide whether account is standard or it needs to be shifted to substandard, whether DP is available or it is manipulated. So these type of analysis you are supposed to do. Interest test check आपको करना ही है. Carry out a interest test check. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Other areas, कैश बैंक का हमने बात किया, सस्पेंस मैंने ऑलरेडी बात किया, सन्ड्री वो आपको डेटा देंगे, उसको चेक करिए, अकाउंट स्क्रूटिनाइज करिए, फिक्स एसेट का हमने ऑलरेडी बात किया, फॉरेक्स. इफ योर ब्रांच इज हैविंग फॉरेक्स बिजनेस, हम सब एज ए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट we issue 15 CB, CA, those type of documents, the other documents which our client as a importer exporters are giving. If there are export PC loans are taken, PCFC, packing credit in rupees. If there are import happening, what kind of documents are submitted? One of the nationalized bank, if you go and Google, you will realize there was a fraud of 6,500 crore rupees, wherein money was transferred out of India, let's say for import of something. Import did not happen. The goods which was supposed to be imported in India did not come. And ultimately it was proved that it was just a money transfer. It was just a sort of a hawala transaction. And amount is 6,500 crore. Now think a big branch like this, where so much of Forex is happening. These type of branch will be always there under statutory audit. So as a statutory auditor, spend some time in Forex. If that's a Forex specialized branch, आपको long form audit report में भी report करना है. Test check का हमने बात किया. You will have to take a judgmental call कि what is your materiality level. आपको हर area में कितना test check करना है. मान लीजिए मैंने जैसे example दिया, मैंने 10 account pick up किए. Work out, take out the value in absolute. Am I reaching to 10% of advances, 20%, 30%, 40%, 70%? कितने एडवांसेस मैंने देखे? If that you in your judgment feel that is not sufficient, you will naturally add account in your test check. और सारे अकाउंट देखने पड़ेंगे, सारे एनालिसिस करिए इनकम एक्सपेंडिचर के. When you disagree, सर ने एक बात कही कि लॉन्ग फॉर्म ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में लोग लिख देते हैं कि 180 दिन या लंबे समय से स्टॉक नहीं आया है. एक और पॉइंट है LFAR में. LFAR में हमें बोला जाता है कि if you disagree with the management in classification, तो कई बार ऐसा होता है, लोग लिखते हैं कि I disagree with the account classification done by the branch management, but at the same time they don't issue memorandum of changes. See, moment you disagree with the branch management on any of the issue, the corresponding responsibility is there on you to issue a memorandum of changes. Memorandum of changes में आपको ये दिखाना है कि ब्रांच ने मान लीजिए स्टैंडर्ड बोला है, आप सब स्टैंडर्ड बोल रहे हो, D1 बोल रहे हो, D2 बोल रहे हो, बिकॉज ऑफ इरोजन इन वैल्यू ऑफ सिक्योरिटी. पैराग्राफ पढ़िए RBI सर्कुलर में. इन द year 1 also, one account instead of going to standard, it can go straightway to doubtful or straightway to loss if there is a erosion in value of security. मान लीजिए 10% से कम वैल्यू हो गई, अकाउंट स्ट्रेटवे लॉस में जाएगा. 50% से कम वैल्यू हुई as compared to the outstanding balance value of security, account will straightway, instead of going to substandard, it will go to doubtful category. In these type of cases, not only reporting of figures, you will have to give a justification note. You can attach a separate annexure. This annexure can be part of MOC as well as part of long form audit report. A simultaneously reference can be given to both, wherein you first give the basic detail of advance, party का नाम, account number, sanction amount, type of security, कितना value था, कब security value, किस value ने valuation किया, and then give a briefing of that, what kind of irregularities you found, and based on which you feel that the account cannot be standard or account cannot be substandard and it can be doubtful, or whatever classification you are deferring, be it from priority to non-priority, from standard to NPA, or from secured to unsecured. कई टाइप की एरर्स हो सकती है लोन स्टेटमेंट में, जिसके लिए आप MOC दे सकते हो. इन सब के लिए आप एक जस्टिफिकेशन, एक नोट, एक एक्सप्लेनेशन लिखोगे, which will be part of MOC, which will be part of long form audit report. तो ये देना मत भूलिए, वरना if you don't write, the central auditors will not understand on what basis you are trying and giving the memorandum of change. एक लास्ट पैराग्राफ ये केस हुआ था जिसमें the person giving the confession, in his confession statement said that auditors are looking at the incremental advances and they were scrutinizing the account shown by the management. तो मैंने बोला, you take your call and you tell that what kind of verification you want to tell, you want to check, and it's not that the branch management will tell you कि आप ये देख लीजिए. You take the entire bunch of loan, आप देखिए, आप सिस्टम पे बैठिए. There are different kind of softwares available in banking, but मान लीजिए एक बहुत बैंकों में है वैसा फिनेकल सॉफ्टवेयर है. आपकी टीम में एक बंदा होना ही चाहिए, मिनिमम 1 person, मैक्सिमम आर देयर इज गुड, हु नोज द शॉर्टकट कीज. लेट्स लीजिए फिनेकल है, उसकी शॉर्टकट कीज क्या है रिपोर्ट निकालने की. सेकंड, you can download those report and carry out advanced Excel analysis, use Power Queue, Power BI और Excel और इन सॉफ्टवेयर्स की मदद से आप एक एनालिसिस करिए और फाइंड आउट करिए there are any abnormality in the loan dump if you are able to see. उसके पैसे you red flag those accounts, ask for the justification, ask for the verification, go and see the account operation, go and see the drawing power calculations, go and see the other values. As I said, there could be some account वहां गलती से हमने 50 मंथ का मोरेटोरियम डालना है, उसकी जगह 50 महीना डालना है, 60 मंथ डालना है, 60 ईयर डाल दिया. So there could be some human error while punching the data might happen. Gold loan की बात करें, there are n number of cases which are found where there are fake jewelry which are found in the specific verification. You may ask a question, what do I do as a statutory auditor? Number one, see the entire loan process. As I said, the type of loan can be EMI based repayment or a bullet repayment. The banks to bank policy may differ. Ask the banks to give their policy document. What is the way of sanctioning? What kind of appraisal they are taking? Whether value of gold is changing in the system dynamically? कैसे change हो रहा है? Internal valuation हो रहा है, external valuation हो रहा है. We found in one of the bank the loans were closed and open on same day, and correspondingly there were no entries in the cash scroll of money received and money given to the borrower. Only the entries were in computer, it was shown. So such errors, such issues you may find when you take out a data of same borrower, loan closed on a one day and same day new loan opened. Try and take out such report and apply your mind, and you may find some issues, some evergreening cases where you will find such cases, some doubt you can report. One case which is there in public domain, you can go and see, search where the fake jewelry was used. Cash ATM का हमने बात किया. This is one case where there was a shortage worth of 86 lakhs was found. ये जो केस है मैंने बोला 6,170 crore rupees transferred from India to out of India in one of the nationalized bank. Again, old case of a Union Bank. Now coming to the some such examples in the bank loan. When there are export finance cases, as I said that you may verify those documents properly and see whether there is a genuine packing credit given. Some such builders account or home loan account are found. The RBI circular is there, which is one pager circular issued few years back, which says there are n number of cases found where borrower is not in existence, the properties are not in existence, builder not in existence, fake documents are given, photocopies of the documents are given. If such cases are there, friends, be careful. हमें लगता है कि gold loan, home loan सब कुछ safe है, but these type of frauds have happened, and be careful when you verify. Joint security, all the valuers, all the joint owners NOCs are required. CIBIL की अगर हम बात करें, there are past delinquencies reported in CIBIL. उसको देखिए, whether bank has asked for explanation. In many cases it is found that लोगों ने उन डॉक्यूमेंट को, जैसे सिबिल है, सिर्फ लेके फाइल कर दिया है, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट सिर्फ लेके फाइल कर दिया है. एंड व्हेन यू सी दो स्टेटमेंट्स, दोस डॉक्यूमेंट, you as a chartered accountant find कि अरे इसमें तो previously there were write off which has happened. So bank has called for the explanation from the borrower or not. If there are such cases like this where there's a joint ownership of a property, the other owner have given their NOC or not. One case which was found by some chartered accountant wherein the NOC of the other owners was not there, and bank was showing this as a fully secured. So there's a question mark. Is this a realizable security available to the bank if account has become NPA? Friends, in case where the accounts are NPA, where there is a tangible security available once in a 3 year, bank must get the valuation done from the valuer. So जहां पे आप देख रहे हो कि cases are in doubtful, fully secured दिखाए हैं, अगर DU2 category specifically, D3 में है, I am as an auditor not much bothered because frankly 100% amount is provided. Of course, secured shown की जगह unsecured दिखाना चाहिए, मैं मानता हूं, वो भी आप देख रहे हो, टाइम है, बहुत अच्छी बात है. But especially in substandard D1, D2, where if it is fully secured, 3 साल से पुराना वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट नहीं चलेगा. You will have to call for a fresh valuation report. Above some amount, some banks have policy to take the joint valuation. तो ये joint valuation is done or not. Try and check that. ये हमने already बात की fraud की, ATM cash shortage we already spoke. Cash credit account अगर कहीं पे हैं, एक branch which we experienced where the entire process had gone for a toss, the end use was not seen, proper processing is not done, borrower is carrying out farming activity is not seen, 7/12 जिसको हम बोलते हैं as a proof of farmer, कहीं पे खेती की खाता बही होती है, वैसे वाले डॉक्यूमेंट्स अवेलेबल नहीं है, फॉर्म लोग से ठीक फिलअप किए हुए नहीं है, and we have seen that account like evergreening happening similar like gold loan, the accounts closed today and open today with no proper corresponding entries happening in the bank's book. So friend, be careful when you look because these are priority sector advances. विंडो ड्रेसिंग की मैंने ऑलरेडी बात की कि लोन बढ़ा देते हैं, सब कुछ कर देते हैं. कमिंग टू दी होम लोन, बाकी डॉक्यूमेंट्स मैंने बात की. ITR के कई मैनिपुलेशंस आर बीइंग फाउंड wherein it is happening that the income of the borrower is lesser, he may not be eligible for particular amount. Income ITR आज की तारीख में फोटोशॉप में आप कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट को एडिट कर सकते हैं, तो उसकी इनकम को एडिट किए हुए केसेस फाउंड किए हैं. एंड इन स्पाइट ऑफ हैविंग यूडिन फैसिलिटी, कुछ ऐसे भी केस मिले हैं वेयर फेक यूडिन इज यूज्ड. फ्रेंड, इन मेनी ऑफ द केसेस वेयर द अकाउंट्स वर रीस्ट्रक्चर्ड, it was found that the restructuring was not valid. हम अगर restructuring की बात करें तो borrowers request से begin होना चाहिए PV calculation for the loss, account is secured or unsecured fully, and there is a process wherein the proper authority who have sanctioned the loan, same level of authority needs to approve this restructuring. I cannot do restructuring, branch manager at his level cannot allow the restructuring if the loan is sanctioned by the senior authorities. There is a case which was found that in which in the, let's say in the February, let's say 23, the restructuring is carried out. The auditor was told that we have carried out a restructuring properly. Oral explanations, auditor said, okay, good, very good. He saw the document restructured, fine. In the June, RBI inspection came, and RBI auditor, RBI person doing inspection said that this account was substandard in February. Not only that, the restructuring had some issues, and not only this inspection, the bank was asked to classify it as a substandard, but auditor was also given a show cause that how and why you did not found this account. Account was obviously a major account, 100 crore plus account. Why you did not see this account, though it was substandard, the restructuring was not proper, how it was accepted as a standard account. These type of so many show cause are issued by Reserve Bank of India, and the cases are also referred to the DC of ICAI. So friends, be careful when you find and see such cases where there are issues. There are fixed deposit frauds which have happened. So mind well, if there are loan with third party fixed deposits, you need to be extra careful. See that the proper communication has gone, the fixed deposit receipts are given, are authorized by the proper person, the loan is taken, and the person giving deposit has got what kind of relationship. Ask some more questions, do more taste check, do more diligent verification in the fixed deposit, loan against fixed deposit. कई बार हम इग्नोर करते हैं, सोचते हैं बहुत सेफ एरिया है, सिर्फ मार्जिन देख लिया, छोड़ दिया. But as many as 700 to 800 crore rupees of frauds have happened in as many as 10 banks. So be vigilant in third party fixed deposit. ALM certificate obviously अभी बंद हो गया है, but interest subvention certificate में lot of errors are found. Try and do a proper checking. It is not only checking of figures. Sometimes such certificate says that in view of XYZ circular of XYZ ministry, we confirm that borrower is eligible for interest subvention, and then the figures are given. And in hurry, in shortage of time, we focus only on the figures. We don't see whether borrower is eligible or not. So put your attention on that. There could be some such more issues. For the paucity of time, I am not going into those details. This is a disclaimer. And let me thank Virag and the team Connect Easy for giving me this opportunity to talk my view in brief on the bank audit in the given time which was allotted to me. I tried doing the justice, and over to you, Virag. Virag, we can, if time is permitting, maybe we can take up some questions, or whichever way you as an organizer suggest. And let me once again thank to you for giving me this task of talking and sharing my views on practical issues in bank audit. In the time allotted to me, I tried doing whatever best I was able to do. Thank you so much. Over to you, Virag.
Thank you so much, sir. A wonderful session. Despite of limited time, you have covered so many things, and you are so quick in that, sir. A wonderful session, and you have covered a wonderful PPT also. There are many requests for the presentation as well, sir. Sir, if you can take few of the question directly from the question tab, then we can save on time as well, sir. So you can open the question tab.
Help me reading that. That will be much easier for me, because otherwise I have to wear my specs also. I'm not wearing.
Right, sir. Right. So one of the question is when we are giving the data like for MEF in the August every year, why we are not getting the allotment before 1 week at least? So one of the question, basically this question from Chopra sir as well, but you are also a leader. You can also give some answers, sir. That MEF data is freezed by August or September, then whether it is possible to give allotment before 1 week or 10 days.
Of course, as you all know, me or Shweta, we are part of regional council, and this entire activity is carried out at a PD ICAI level, at the national level, and we are not at all part of this entire process. So we frankly do not know, when obviously it post August also. There's a lot of exercise which the ICAI, again, this as like you as a normal member, I am saying, not as a regional council member, but what I understand that before hosting the draft panel, the ICAI is verifying the document which you people have submitted, and many a time we have seen the chartered accountants are being asked the queries. One of such example can be, let's say I am not allowed to do, being in practice, allowed to do some such other activity, but my ITR reflects some income. For example, I carried out a speculative transaction in my own name and reported that as an income. Now ICAI, when they verify, if I'm not supposed to do this activity since I'm holding certificate of practice, see the transaction in certain activities such as investment into share is allowed. Now for some reason the chartered accountant has purchased the share and he squared off on the same day. The explanation is called from the chartered accountant, and based on such verification, ye ek example hai, there are many such verification which are carried out. So if you see from August to 2-3 months, it is not 1, 10, 100 CA. There are thousands of chartered accountants are making an application. So this data is verified. The people whose applications are rejected are conveyed their application is rejected in a draft panel which is hosted, and once more they are given opportunity. Prior to that also they are sent a query before their application is rejected. So RBI says to ICAI that you ensure that you have verified the entire data which you have given to us, including that panel. The chartered accountant के against में कोई DC नहीं हुई होनी चाहिए. They should not be ineligible for some reason. उनका data which is there with the ICAI needs to be verified. the size of the firm, number of the staff reported, number of the person, the ITR of the firm, ITR of the partners. तो ये वेरिफिकेशन भी टाइम लेता है. उसके बाद ड्राफ्ट पैनल होस्ट होती है. For some days it is kept open. Then a final panel is hosted, and this final panel is shared with the RBI. And obviously उसके बाद वहां पे भी there is some process which is happening in the Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India has got its own verification mechanism. After that, that panel, that data is shared with the banks, and then the selection process starts. Now, I may receive an offer from more than one bank. I have to select only one. If I select more, then obviously my application is rejected. And if I select only one, then that goes to the RBI. Again, RBI will verify that whether I have taken, if I have not given reply to 2 branch, that they will verify and they will confirm to one bank. So the other bank will be given denial. Something like that will happen. If I have given 2 banks approval, my case will be rejected from both the bank. So ये सारी exercise होती है. Despite of all this thing, I fully agree and endorse कि इसको थोड़ा सा prepone करना ही चाहिए. The appointment should be done ideally, little in advance, so auditors get more time. They are able to study, they are able to contact the branch. और जो डेटा ईयर एंड के पहले देख सकते हैं, जैसे कि क्रेडिट अप्रेजल, बाकी के डॉक्यूमेंट्स. If bank also change this system, RBI change this system, the auditors are allowed to visit. I think many of us, including all of us, will love to go to the branch and see the data.
Yes,
I hope
thank you, sir.
Whatever I knew, I could inform.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Shweta, you want to add anything maybe?
So next question from Arunji: whether on sampling basis of advance of 20 or 25% is sufficient for branch audit?
सर वो ब्रांच टू ब्रांच कॉल लेना चाहिए. कहीं पे शायद 15% भी सफिशिएंट हो और कहीं पे 25% भी सफिशिएंट ना हो. जैसे हमने बोला कि पास्ट के रिपोर्ट आप देखोगे, ब्रांच का हेल्थ कैसा है, उसमें सब स्टैंडर्ड डाउटफुल कितने हैं, नया मान लीजिए इसी साल में अगर 25% सैंक्शन हुए हैं तो आप 15% नहीं देख सकते हो. इसी साल में मान लीजिए नया ब्रांच खुला है, 100% सैंक्शन हुए तो शायद 100% भी 80% भी देखें आप. सो इट cannot be in one line said that 25% is enough. RBI बोलता है कि on an average कम से कम कितने एडवांस देखने हैं, वो ऑब्वियसली वो सारे नॉर्म्स फॉलो करके उसके बाद हम ये परसेंटेज देखते हैं.
Right, sir. Right. In OD case of 25 lakh, interest is received regularly. Underlying security value very good, but the financial shows turnover of rupees 90 lakh. How to deal with such situation? Whether go for NP or red flag to the account?
So Virag, I'm sorry, but turnover is how much? 90 lakhs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the sanction
OD
limit
is
is
25 lakhs. Yes, sir. Yes.
So though the MPBF is done away, but generally we have been seeing in bank के जितना turnover है, उसके percentage base पे loan sanction करते हैं. That is one of the criteria. Then you will see the working capital gap. Business to business it depends कि कितना working capital days का cycle है. Now let's say कि 1 करोड़ के turnover पे 25 लाख का CC sanction किया हुआ है. Obviously you can comment upon the credit appraisal if there are errors, if there are issues. But having bank taken that call, then I will see that whatever basis, मान लीजिए वो working capital advance ही है, we are not talking about LAP or we are not talking about CCOD against property, तो मैं naturally DP calculations देखूंगा, stock datas check करूंगा, creditors level what was there while sanctioning, वो सारे parameters को मद्देनजर में रखते हुए ये देखूंगा कि drawing power available है क्या. अगर available है तो standard, नहीं है available, and based on the available drawing power, if account is overdrawn for more than 90 days, naturally I will give my justification in notes way I said, and I will classify the account as NPA. Since this question answer is happening, it reminded me of one point which I forgot to tell in initially. PD ICAI is hosting an online panel of the experts wherein you can write your queries to the PD ICAI और आपको उसके answers मिलते हैं. Of course, ICAI, PD ICAI or the person giving answers are not responsible. However, they are supporting you, they are helping you, they are giving you an kind of independent opinion. So wherever you have such doubts in classification, आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा फैक्ट्स और क्वेरीज के साथ ईमेल करिए. Within 24 hours, within 48 hours maximum, you will receive the response of those people, which will help you framing your opinion, your judgmental call. Virag, next question.
Yes, sir. So we have last question for our today's webinar. Can you suggest some software or Excel for bank audit, and you can provide some guidance for that?
देखिए, एक्सेल पर ही एक सेशन लेना चाहिए. जो ऑनेस्टली आई एम नॉट केपेबल. जो एज आई सेड कि जितने भी एडवांस एक्सेल्स के कमांड हैं, मैं भी किसी के साथ बैठ के देखता हूं और मैं देखता हूं कि कैसे भी लुकअप मार रहे हैं, कैसे डेटा फ्लो हो रहा है. वर्ड के नोटपैड में डेटा लेते हैं, पावर क्वेरी का यूज करके एक्सेल में हम पूरा स्टेटमेंट क्रिएट करते हैं. मैं पर्सनली करने में ज्यादा टाइम लेता हूं, तो मैं भी किसी से करवाता हूं कि फट 2 मिनट में एक्सेल रेडी हो जाती है. अब बात आती है कि सॉफ्टवेयर. देखो, सॉफ्टवेयर बहुत सारे टूल्स अवेलेबल है मार्केट में, प्राइवेट लोग बेच रहे हैं. मैं कोई सॉफ्टवेयर रेकमेंड नहीं कर रहा हूं. मैं ये मानता हूं कि आपको हर एरिया में नंबर 1 आपके अपने डिजाइन किए हुए चेकलिस्ट बनाइए. जैसे मैंने कैश का एक एग्जांपल दिया कि अगर आपका एक पर्सन जा रहा है कैश वेरिफिकेशन के लिए, तो उसके डू डोंट क्या होंगे और वो वहां जाके क्या क्या देखेगा. कि वो देखेगा कैश फ्लो में एंट्रियां हो रही है, रजिस्टर मेंटेन है, सरप्राइज कैश वेरिफिकेशन जॉइंट कस्टडी में है, सरप्राइज वेरिफिकेशन हो रहा है. सिमिलरली लोन के लिए मैंने बोला, एग्जांपल भी दिए. अगर आपके पास होम लोन है तो वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट लिया है, सोसाइटी या बिल्डर का एनओसी है. वैसे ही कार लोन है तो डुप्लीकेट की लेने का प्रोसेस है या फोटो लेते हैं. अगर सेकेंड हैंड कार है तो वैल्यूएशन हो रहा है, मशीनरी है तो वैल्यूएशन हो रहा है, 3 कोटेशन आ रहे हैं. सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द टाइप ऑफ लोन, नंबर 1 you should have a checklist. Based on that, you will able to verify the data in documents. Now coming to the analysis, आप लोन का सारा डंप लेते हो, उस पे आप सारे फिल्टर्स लगा के, जैसे मैंने बोला SMA 0, 1, 2, 3 के डेटा आपने अगर पहले के लिए हुए जनवरी फरवरी के या दिसंबर क्वार्टर के, उसको मार्च क्वार्टर के साथ कंपेयर करिए. वी लुकअप लगा के आपको पता चलेगा कि कई अकाउंट्स में क्या हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है. देन इंडिपेंडेंट रिव्यू के सैंक्शन डेट क्या है, अगर एनपीए हुआ है तो एनपीए कब हुआ है, और उसके बाद 12 महीने के तक वो सबस्टैंडर्ड में था, उसके बाद ऑटोमेटिकली D1 हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है. सो वन एक्सेल putting this entire bunch of data, you can do 100 type of analysis. उसके बाद डिपॉजिट और एडवांस का तो मैंने ऑलरेडी बताया. मैक्रो लेवल व्यू लीजिए, रेशियो एनालिसिस, कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस, देन दिस एवरेज वाला एनालिसिस जो मैंने बताया. तो ये सारे ही टूल एक्सेल के थ्रू हम भी यूज कर रहे हैं, और हम ऐसे ही करते हैं कि वन ऑफ द टीम मेट इज 100% ऑन सिस्टम. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई एम वेरीफाइंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स, one person is sitting only on Excel and he's creating so many red flags and giving me data, telling me that sir look this account, look this account, look that account. मैंने जो एजुकेशन लोन की बात की फॉर एग्जांपल, तो वो हमें देगा कि सर यहाँ पे तो अकाउंट 8 साल पुराना है और स्टैंडर्ड पड़ा हुआ है, तो आप ये अकाउंट जरूर से देखिए. So naturally I will pick up that account, I will give that account to the branch and tell me that give me document, give me sanction letter कि इसमें 60 months है या 60 year का मोरेटोरियम है. सो आई थिंक ये सारे यूसेज और एनालिसिस आपको भी यूज करने पड़ेंगे. वंस यू डू, every year you will able to improvise. Let me frankly tell you that the utility which I must have used few years back, today that utility is completely outdated, because when I'm going, number 1 nature of the branch change होता है. अब मैंने एक ब्रांच में गया जहां सिर्फ किसान क्रैश क्रेडिट था, एक ब्रांच में गया जहां 80% ऑफ लोन वर गोल्ड लोन ओनली. मेरे बाकी के कोई फंडा काम नहीं आने वाले हैं वहां पे. So depending upon the type of branch, bank, you will have to use number 1 checklist, number 2 this loan analysis, number 3 macro analysis of comparative ratio, average analysis. ये सब कुछ आपको करना है.
Yes. So, sir, for that also, let me announce that we have already finalized the special webinar on use of Excel and Power Query for bank audit, which is on 30th March, Saturday evening 5 to 7 by one of the very renowned speaker, CA Dhananjay Gokhale, who is from Nagpur. So it will also help the participants to take up that as well.
In
So
fact,
with this, we are ending the question. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are saying something?
No, I said I will also love to attend. I think धनंजय जी को सुनना भी एक ऐसा ही है कि the Excel, you keep learning new things when you listen the new speakers. धनंजय जी इज वेरी सीनियर पर्सन, बट मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि हर बार आप किसी को सुनते हो सीनियर को तो कुछ ना कुछ नई बात, नया टूल्स, नया आइडिया मिलता है.
So let me tell you, sir, that this Dhananjay is very young and he's master of this Excel and Power BI. So you will see that once we'll announce. This is a new person who is from Nagpur, and he has also taken a session previously on our platform on the similar technology
Okay,
on
because
technology session.
Dhananjay, one more Dhananjay Gokhale is there. He's very senior, so I just you missed that.
Right. So with this, we are very thankful to you, sir. Wonderful session and wonderful question answer session as well. We are very thankful to you for your giving your time and your knowledge sharing with all the attendees, and also to Shweta ma'am. Despite she is herself as an expert speaker, and she has also conducted session on multiple cities. I think more than 10 cities. So and still she is learning. So hunger for knowledge is there everywhere, we can see. And with this we can start of this bank audit season. Would like to giving the best wishes from my side as well to all the who is going for the bank audit in this season of 2024. So with this we are concluding our today's session, and we'll meet soon for the another session of Dhananjay ji, and again maybe Shweta ma'am as well on a different topic of the bank branch audit, because we have a 2-day series also we can conduct on. There are so many things to learn on this season about the entire banking structure and the banking organization, which we can use during our audits. So we can conduct for Shweta ma'am also whenever she will allow us. And Dhananjay sir's session is on 30th March, and we'll keep having a more session on different topics as well. So with this announcement, we are concluding. Thank you so much all.
Thank you, and
Just
let
want to
me-
make one announcement. We have taken questions only of the GoToWebinar. People watching on YouTube and LinkedIn, we have not taken any questions. So you can directly connect with Ketan sir as well. Sir has given the mail ID and the mobile number on the screen, so you can take the note of that, and you can connect as well. So thank
you
you
can
once
please
again.
WhatsApp and allow me some time, because I may be also busy with my bank audit. So please allow me some time to respond the question, and let me wish all of you a happy Holi. I forgot to do that also. So wishing happy Holi to all the participants.
Yes. Happy Holi, happy bank audit season, happy IPL as well. You can watch now. So with this, we can concluding our today's session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.